like a worm in the storm. A hungry hunger inside of me. I can't be reborn. I'm a monster, spreading hate, stealing time. I'm a monster, laying base when it's cloudy. Oh, pilgrim inside of me. Tell me, what's my remedy? I'm a fraud, call me liar. A true psychopath, don't love me. When you're lost, take your trust. Yeah, that's me.
All right, going out to all the upstarts, rabble-rousers, change-makers, and those who are just here for a revolution. You are tuned in to WNLR, Neon Lights Roleplay, for another episode of The World Within You, our bass-boosted spray paint splatter take on Void Heart Symphony by Minerva McJanda. For the next few hours, we will flip like shadows between urban playgrounds and nightmare mindscape contained within, well, any major city in North America. If you enjoy Persona, Psychonauts, or just seeing the wicked bend before the uncompromising ideals of the young, superglue that dial right where it is. Before the main event, be aware that Void Heart Symphony and the story we are about to tell is one that will meditate on the very real evils, great and small, that people subject each other to. While our players have safety tools in place and a mic in our booth, if you're catching the show across the airwaves, know ahead of time that we might touch on difficult topics. Listener discretion is advised. If you ever feel uncomfortable, you can cut the feed and jam to something that soothes your soul, hopefully rejoining us and our renegades a little bit later. For this episode in specific, we may cover school and learning environments, family conflict, absent parents, being a child to parents who immigrated, digital bullying, self-loathing, sharks, snakes, and clowns? Yeah. Now, I have prattled on for long enough, and we have a digital studio absolutely bursting with talent. It is time for me to introduce your renegades. And tonight, each of them will be answering the question on behalf of their character. What do you aspire to after high school? Let's start with Tate.
Hey. Hello, Internet. My name's Tate Washburn, and I am playing Jordan Karsten today. And, Jordan, I think, has been kind of running without thinking about the future for a long time. So if you were to ask him, he doesn't really have a good answer. But really the thing he aspires to is to just go to college and figure it out. Like, he has not so far in his life felt like he's had the time and the space to really figure it out, in like big quotes. That's what he's most looking forward to and aspiring to, is finding a space where he's happy and he knows what he's doing and he feels like he can do it.
Okay. And
maybe there's a cop-out answer, but I don't know.
No, I think it's very consistent with what you've played Jordan as so far. Let's slide down one and hear from Dan.
Hey, that's me. Hello, I'm Land the Dan, and I play Scott Reiser, the Watcher. And what Scott wants to do after high school is he wants to go to college on a music scholarship and get a degree and get a job he can hopefully use to support his poor working ma who's done so much for him so far.
All right. Let's slide over to Leona.
Hello, what is up? My name is Leona. Today I am playing Neela, our beautiful South Asian magical girl. You can find her at Instagram, well, fake Instagram, I guess, Mandalas and Marigolds. And Neela is the kind of gal who, I think that's why she has that Instagram, is because she feels very serious about her art. Even if it's graffiti art, like, it means a lot to her. It holds her brand vibrant, colors and, pastels and things like that. And I think after high school, she wants to focus on her art. She knows that her parents have businesses that she could work at, inherit maybe down the line. But I think for now, she's running as hard and fast as she can at art as being the thing that she loves the most.
Hell yeah. And we have a slightly different question for our friend Sushi tonight, played by Michelle. Your question, if I haven't completely lost it, yeah, there we go. In what way has meeting the crew changed your aspirations?
Are you saying Sushi isn't going to high school? Was Sushi not going to graduate?
Sushi is probably not going to get a degree, but maybe that's changed. I don't know. Michelle.
I mean, hey, a cat could get Sushi could be the first cat to ever get a high school diploma.
There's no law saying
rules.
that it can't.
There's no rule saying Sushi can't. Which is actually...
That a cat can't go to high school.
I mean, hey, look, hey, I'm Michelle, I'm playing Sushi, who has they, them pronouns today, who play with the playbook of the Inhuman, and, yeah, I mean, okay, jokes, all jokes aside, Sushi really could actually get a high school diploma. They might not pass really well, but they could do it. They've sat in enough classes over the couple decades. I'm sure they could fill things out if they had a pen and paper. It'd be fine.
Probably would have to work on their penmanship first.
Well, that's what the Scantrons are for.
You're right. You're right, of course.
If you can pass the Scantrons, then you can. Then you're good. Sushi can just not write any essays. He'll just get 100% on the Scantrons. He has to see every time.
Perfect.
Yep. No, but in actual seriousness, though, when it comes to, I guess, how things have changed, I think after meeting the crew, Sushi's a bit more... Sushi's always been curious about these weird-ass humans who have been, in their territory for the past, couple decades, but, this is more of a... Sushi actually kind of wants to understand humans a bit more. Why do they care so much about weird things like videos? Why does this matter beyond distress, right? Who needs all of these emotional doodads when when you already have so many troubles with things like just getting shelter or getting food, right? That's a common issue not just for cats but also for humans. What more is there to be concerned about?
Yeah. Broadening horizons, wondering about life, the universe, and everything. Wow, that's so neat. Good for you, Sushi.
It's okay.
All right.
Sushi definitely does not know what they're doing.
Also, hey everybody, I'm Legendary Vermin. I'm going to be your game maestro tonight. Welcome back, and let's get on with the show. All right. So, for a moment, we are taken back to where Neela just sealed away that enforcer trying to breach the barrier between the blank white city that seems to belong to Palecoat and reality. But in doing so, this burst of foliage came out of the area around the painting. And we watched as vines climb brick all the way to the top of this 3-story building. And Flower is attended over several days. We watch time strobe by. Bees arrive. There's an unlikely hummingbird. The flower closes. Seeds emerge. And they scatter. We see them drift past several of the characters that we already know. They fly past Angel briefly. One seems to hit some of the dirt in the sidewalk as Nico is walking by, excuse me. And we see some take root in a pile of rubbish out behind Danny Kerr's bar. They don't germinate yet, but we know that whatever these flowers are, they're moving around the city. So, after the excitement of the last couple days, you all are closer than ever to realizing your goal of interfering with the actions of the Clown Prince. You've had a little bit of time to relax, recuperate from your last delve into the castle. What's the next step for y'all as we start this new week in the game mechanics of Voidheart Symphony? What are y'all trying to do? How are you organizing it? Where are you meeting up? What does it look like?
So, having watched the last session on youtube.com/neonlightsroleplay, you, I assume that Jordan has been told as to the kind of tactics that that this guy uses, right?
I assume so, but other players, who tells Jordan?
Please, somebody tell him.
Or don't, and see things go disastrously wrong.
I feel like Mila, in her role as the gardener, is kind of the not the gardener. The goodness me, is that my role? No, I'm not the gardener. I'm something else.
You're the caretaker?
I'm yes.
Caretaker.
I think that's my Arcana is the gardener.
Yeah, you're
And
both.
my playbook, I'm both. My Arcana is the gardener, but I'm the provider playbook. There we go. And I think in that her role as a provider, I think her vibe is definitely to be like, hey, let's catch up. Let me make sure that you know what you need to know and you know what's up. So I feel like that's Mila's overall energy in these types of situations.
Okay. Then I have two things that I'd like to do in the city of sort of maybe preparing. One is to try and just finally finish off this crisis that's not dire, not imminent, but I think that means that maybe it's done and it's fine. I'm trying to remember the rules.
Remind me which crisis this was.
It's
This is the
no lunch money, low on
no
cash.
lunch money. Oh, yeah, you've addressed it twice at least.
Yeah.
And I think that
fine.
does mean that it's quelled.
Yeah, then it'd probably just be the one. Well, I would also like to get rid of a condition if I can, but I have one thing that I'd like to do. We don't have to do that immediately, and it's very cheeky and maybe is bending the definition of some rules a little bit. But I'd like to do it.
You might be able to get rid of a condition because there's been a whole session since the last time you played.
Oh, right. I didn't know if I got to do that if I wasn't in the session.
Well, did you do it last time is basically the question. Or are you down to your last condition?
Yeah, that's why I'm only at the one.
Okay.
Like,
Then
I
yeah,
believe
you have to
remaining
take,
conditions last time.
then you gotta try the risky action, I think.
Or do I have a covenant that can help you?
Maybe. I want to do the more risky and funny thing first, and then because maybe that will
go
convince
on.
me to then rest afterwards.
Go on.
If I know Quentin camera stalks people that he doesn't like, I kind of want to try and waste his time on purpose. I want to see him trying to follow me and then purposely keep putting myself in situations where maybe he's going to get something juicy and then doing the most wholesome and not judgeable thing possible. I want to basically counter spy this guy.
Good God. Okay. What? What's your goal here? Right. That's the question.
My goal is to effectively occupy him and piss him off so that he doesn't do anything else.
Keep him busy.
Move his goals towards completion, kind of anything else.
Okay.
The thing that I imagine this might be is it feels almost like either make a stand or the opposite of pass beneath if he passed beneath notice and that I don't want him to notice that I know he's there and I'm trying to waste his time is the only way it would work for that. It feels too subtle to be make a stand though.
Yeah, you're definitely not making a stand here. Yeah, you're kind of trying to pass beneath notice.
Is it take a risk? Something risky that isn't covered by another move?
Yeah, I think. Well, no, because I'm trying to decide what kind of action this is. Whether this is wolf at the door, check in, let your hair down, let go, read the wind.
Yeah.
We'll figure out what exactly the consequences of this should be. Yeah. Okay, you're doing this to blow off steam? Is that the goal?
No, this is the risky action that I'm doing now, and then if we have time or at the end of the session when we do the end of the session stuff, hopefully I can recover from the consequences of this risky thing I'm doing.
Okay, then this sounds like you're tending to the wolf at the door.
Yeah.
You're basically trying to stave off his bullshit as you do it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And to sort of help me along, I'd like to point out, Jordan doesn't have like a whole lot of social media and hasn't been here long. So I don't know that Quentin really knows enough about him to actually know the things that would like get Jordan. Except for the conversation they had. If there's implications about that, then yeah, that's fair play.
I mean, if you're somebody who doesn't have like a huge online presence, I think he would start by just kind of following you around.
Yeah.
Yeah, tell me what that looks like.
Game.
Yeah.
I think at first, like, Jordan was kind of considering that. It's like, I wonder if he's gonna start stalking me. It seems like his sort of deal. And then I assume at some point, I notice him following me around school or someplace like that it makes sense that we'd be both around. And from there, it's like, I'm trying to notice when he's doing that. And I think it's like the first time, it's something little, like, there's like a set of shallow steps, like just a few of them in the school in like the main hallway. And then he notices Quentin like paying attention and trying to like real subtle with the camera when he gets to it, like maybe he'll trip or something. And he like stops and lets someone go ahead of him and even like helps an older teacher or offers to help an older teacher up and is like, Jordan's being annoyingly sweet on camera about it. And it just keeps escalating from there. Like it's a thing that happens especially a lot in any one-on-one like combat sport, fencing, martial arts. If you can make the other person mad, they start making mistakes. And that's how Jordan is like processing it. You do like sarcastic bows when they get a point or something like that, just to be like overly a little shit. And he's trying to do that kind of subtly. Next he's like walking home and he doesn't spray paint a thing. In fact, he like helps clean up litter when he notices he's being watched. Or, helping little ladies cross the street, being extra courteous and nice to people whenever he notices Quentin is around.
I think what this looks like, then, not even from a mechanical perspective, is that you've now got the opportunity to like counter surveil him.
Mm-hmm.
Which weirdly I think is a way to get another tick on that that bar. Who do you call in from people that you know from this like network of folks? Do you call in anybody specific to counter surveil Quentin as he, follows you around the city trying to find you being an asshole?
Well, we know You'll have to remind me, Dan, with your scene in last session. I know I just watched it. Who was surprising that they were there? That like cares about Jovan? Was it Petra?
Yeah,
I
that would
also
have been
just
Petra.
watched this.
Yeah.
That would have been Petra.
Again,
Childhood
assuming like,
friend.
assuming that Jordan was made aware of this, he'd probably call up first Petra, like, "Hey, you got some time to maybe mess with this guy?"
And I think Petra is really game.
Mm-hmm. Jordan
And-
considers Nico and is like, "I don't have time to flirt. That could go wrong very quickly."
Oh.
Double date though.
Nope. Focus. Focus.
Ooh. Ah.
Yeah. So I think what we get is Petra is like following at a distance. I'm suddenly imagining Petra in this like green kind of like jacket with like fat kicks and like below the knee ripped jeans. Just like ooh, you go to do something, Quentin follows. Petra's the third person around the corner, a little bit distant. So yeah, I think this is a great way to take that gauge just a hair further. You know what? Hell, I'm gonna call that. You've got somebody actively spying on him. I think you're at organized resistance to Quentin.
What level?
Yeah,
What level? What level are we for organized resistance?
Yeah, I'm gonna say that like this in combination with everything else that you've done is like people are paying attention to what Quentin is doing and they are not letting him get away with it this time.
I
You
just
see
wanna know
very
what-
shortly those videos get circulated among the people who showed up to that meeting of like, hey, if he's gonna do this, we can catch him doing this.
I knew we were at last time. Were we at 1.5 ticks? I'm just double checking if we're up to like 2 ticks.
we were halfway there.
You were halfway there, and I think
Are we now all the way
narratively
there?
this puts you all the way there
Hey!
because it links back to what was going on before, right?
Done. Just making those notes, keeping us on track.
Yeah. So there you have it. Petra starts circulating those videos to other people who are doing this, and it's like, oh, we can catch him being an asshole and like trying to fuck with people. We just need to like communicate with each other. And there's a group chat, and it starts going off. And so people, over the next couple of days, you do hear about moments when like Quentin is trying to film something, and like a group of or like a student or two is just there like being loud and ruining his footage by getting in the way, like taking their own video back, making it impossible for him to make himself a nuisance or to make embarrassing footage of other people. Like people call him out for it in class and stuff when he tries it at school. So Jordan, that's one of your everyday actions. Who else has something that they want to do as you progress your plan?
I don't yet. Somebody else go.
I don't yet
It-
either.
Well, how many ticks are we at in terms of?
In terms of Emperor's New Clothes,
You're at 4
We're
of
done.
I've got like
6.
4 of the
5.
Yeah.
You're at 5 of
5.
6.
Yeah.
literally all that is left is your mundane self has
One of
suffered
us
at their
has to
orders
suffer.
and hands. Yes, one of us has to suffer.
which has now gotten a lot
Your
harder
best
thanks to
opportunities
Jordan.
for
So thanks
suffering
a lot, Tit.
are gone.
yeah,
I mean,
it's we left it as in progress. Yeah, like we've left it in progress.
Yeah.
So
you
I
have
don't
all
know-
but 1 tick ready for Emperor's New Clothes, which means that you get to roll 5 dice, which means you're probably going to get a very good result there.
Yeah.
fuck yeah.
Shall we dive into the darkness and at least see if we can't confront another enforcer?
Yeah,
He does not have any other enforcers.
You-
Yeah.
He is
I
our
feel
first
like-
enemy, recall.
Yeah. I feel like I have no, like, everyday actions or city moves that I necessarily need to make right now. Like, I feel like Mila's at a pretty good point with her crises and things, and, like, everything feels very under control. So I think she's kind of ready to hit the ground running. She's ready
Yeah.
for whatever everyone else needs. Like, she is, of course, you know, the provider. So she's like, if people need something, she's here to provide. Like, she's here to do the thing. She, you know, if people need clear conditions, like, I can help with that, you know?
Yeah. Well, then does it sound like you all want to dive into darkness? Is it time to go back to the
Sure.
castle?
I'm okay with that.
I'm down.
Down for
All
it.
right. So, ba, 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 ba. Tell me what this looks like. You have that mural already ready that you can go to kind of cross that barrier. What does it look like as y'all walk up and get ready to raid his castle shard?
I have this image in my head of like cameras on a phone and the group chat is open. Is like tonight? Yeah, tonight. Like we're all agreeing, and the phone goes down and the portal's right in front of it, and then people just sort of step. I think, you know the way like paint drips? I think that's what it kind of visually looks like stepping through it from like first person perspective that we get before stepping out into like the same spot that it comes out at.
Yeah. The
feels right.
scene in this area is very different from the first time you went through. It's been a little bit of time. So there are lights strung up. Like tomorrow is the first day of the street fair proper. And that you can get a good read on a QR code with not too much information, but that QR code is not visible yet. So, you have a little bit of time before that goes wrong. And of course, that means we are going to transition into everyone's favorite, the circus. Why are you doing a tutorial right now? Please.
Oh, God.
Sirenscape, do you know how to use our stuff? Yes, Sirenscape. We've been using
Yes,
it a lot.
Sirenscape.
I've been doing this for quite a while.
I think we do it
We,
back
we,
in
we like you,
Petticoats.
Sirenscape. Stop your bullshit, Sirenscape.
Yeah. Well,
Uh,
here we are.
I think part of the opening scene is that Jordan doesn't have his red jacket on. It's like more sleek black. It looks more serious because I've replaced the fancy jacket with a lucky charm, and it is like an silver-looking amulet. That
Ooh.
I'm trying to think of a really good symbol for this. I think right now it is like one of the patterns that Jordan has drawn with his friends here. Like Jordan tends to do a lot of like very simple geometric stuff. I think it's maybe like a flower and a musical note, but like in very simple geometric, almost Celtic knot-ish shapes,
Yeah.
or something to that effect.
So, each of you can give up one gear item to empower mundane items that you bring with you. You could treat it like a weapon. But also, I remind you that when you dive into darkness, one of you has to make a check against blood.
I feel like I can if nobody else. Or did I don't remember which one I did last night. I think I did a good travel the labyrinth. I don't mind. Mila's ready to do whatever it takes.
I got a 3 in blood, so I'm
I
not
also
bad
have
at it.
3 in blood.
I'm a 2.
I also have 3.
All right.
The only person who doesn't have a lot of physical injuries to deal with.
Oh, one
maybe-
question for
maybe
you,
Squishy
Vermin.
does
Does gear refresh after it's expended on another delve?
Yeah, on a new delve, all of your gear is refreshed.
Awesome.
You basically can think of it like when you show up in, if you're playing Persona, when you show up in the castle after you've been gone, like you have full HP, full MP, all of your gear is there.
Awesome.
Of course, we don't have HP and MP in this game, but
I would simply like it known for the record as we dive into the castle that Neela's street clothes disappear and she emerges in her magical girl outfit with her glaive.
Yes.
And you absolutely get like the video game moment, like you know when you start a battle in a video game and the character like says their little battle pose with their like signature line, like you absolutely get like Neela like twirling her glaive up in the air like a magical staff and then like holding out in front of her and be like, all right, everybody, time to kick butt. I should have come up with something better for that, but it's fine. So that's what you get.
I don't stand by that.
I don't stand by that, but it's fine. I'll come up with a better one next time.
Yeah.
We'll workshop it.
We'll work.
So, Neela, I need you to make that check against blood.
All right. Do the thing, or do I need to click a thing? There it is. Strong hit!
Hey!
Nice.
That's why I do
Okay.
these things, baby.
So, the next person to travel the labyrinth is going to have fleeting advantage. So that's good and exciting. Of course, the next thing that we need to do, though, is we need somebody to travel the labyrinth. You start off high above the rest of the circus, and you know the route to the big top now. And you know whatever's in the big top, that's where Quentin is going to be. So that's probably a good destination to head to first. Unless you want to try to amass spectral allies before tackling the big boss of this castle.
I mean, if
What?
As
Tell me
always.
more about these allies.
You've already spoken to some of the shades that live here. The aspects of his
Like
ego,
Alice?
like
Like
Alice. Yeah.
Can I
Um,
find Alice? I want to go find Alice.
your friend Alice, who is not actually an Alice.
Yeah, her name is Leslie, but that doesn't matter.
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
Echo, this shade is Alice. What is in a name? I mean, as always,
Mr.
Jordan will
Golden
rush in ahead
Apple.
and roll this if no one else wants to. But if we want to look for Alice, I'm fine with someone else doing that.
I would love to go seek out Alice because for Neela that's very important is for Alice to kind of like be involved in this because there's a bond there. Okay.
Okay. So you're gonna roll with advantage. You get a +1 if you mark void, -1 otherwise, a +1 if you've defeated an enforcer, which you have,
Yeah.
and +1 if you've spent time studying the vassal, which you have. So the question is, are you gonna mark void in order to get a +3 on this, or are you cool with just a +1 and advantage?
Am I doing this?
You
Again?
said that you wanted to be the one
Yeah.
to seek her out, so.
Okay, I'm just double checking. Yeah, I do not
Yeah.
mind. Just triple checking. Yeah, I will mark void. I got no problems marking void. I'm kidding. Yeah, I will mark void. I've defeated and
Embrace the void.
All right. Yeah. Okay. So I roll +3.
Mhm.
Okay. And what do I roll? Like which stat?
There's no
Not a
stat.
stat.
It's just the +3. It's a non-stat roll.
But what dice am I rolling?
Oh, it's 2d6 with advantage. So 3d6, take the highest two. There should be a button for this
There's
one,
a
right?
button.
Yeah, under Castle, Delve moves, travel the labyrinth, and I.
Oh, there it is. Okay. Okay. With advantage,
Mm-hmm.
mod 3. Submit. There we go. That's what I needed. 13.
That is a strong hit. Okay, so you're going somewhere specific. On a hit, you get there on a +10, you're going to arrive in a controlled position, able to talk, plan ahead, and scope the area out. Alice is in the backstage area, and she has she's off in a corner, and there are people getting ready. You hear a lot of whispers, like it's almost time for the big show. Everybody's like getting their best clothes on. You see a large movement of people out towards the big top as a part of that. This kind of dressing area, you see people getting ready to go, and there are a lot of quirks about them before they start getting ready that fall away as they apply the makeup. There are a lot of very uniform people leaving this area. And Alice waves you down, and she is already prepared to go to the big top. She's wearing the makeup, she's wearing like a fancy little ball gown, and is very excited to see you. Oh, hi! Wait, are you going? Do you have your ticket? Do you need to get dressed?
Tell me more. I mean, I think I'm dressed, and she kind of like gestures at her outfit and her glaive.
Oh, no. You're funny. No, you either have to bring a ticket with you, or you have to dress right, and then people in there will accept you and treat you like one of them, like people who are ready for the big time. But you can't.
Well, I think I'm ready.
Can't go in looking like that. That's silly.
I think I'm ready. I don't think I have a ticket though. Where would I find a ticket?
And she kind of leans over, and one of those clout sharks from the last time you were here is walking through, and he's got something in his palm. It's a light bulb. You need a ticket.
And excuse me, I'm friend of.
You're all there. Like
Yeah. Well, Jordan's leaning in and ingratiating himself in the conversation. Yeah, just one of her friends. And you get a ticket for being one of the acts, or just like backstage helping along?
Oh, no. Everybody has to do the right thing to, get into the big top, make it to the big time. So you have to bring your ticket yourself. I don't really know where people get those tickets.
Yeah, okay.
But,
I hear you. Yeah.
But there's got to be a place that's that you can get them from.
Light bulb looks familiar to us. There's been a lot of light bulbs around here.
Oh yeah,
We've seen some light bulbs.
You know exactly where you could go to get some light bulbs. Or you could get dressed for the big top beforehand. It's up to you.
What would getting dressed entail? I'm not sure. I want to put on
you
a
would put on the makeup. You would put on the outfit. And you would look like everybody else who was getting ready to go.
So
I think Mila has slightly too much pride for this.
Yeah, little team huddle. I think that maybe not really splitting our forces, but having some people in one position and some in the other, if we coordinate this, might be of benefit. I have very little pride. I'll be your Huckleberry. I'll get in this costume.
So she puts two paws down and goes, "You think I'd look good? Do you think I'd look good in one of those tuxes over there?" It's like, I've already got a tux. like right now, Sushi is a tuxedo cat. And you can see watch as their form sort of morphs with paint. As their bright, colorful paint dial sort of just morphs into a black tuxedo cat. Very sleek, but still with a paintbrush tail.
I'm trying to remember what Jazz called Sushi, of little cat or pretty cat or something like that. But I think Jordan used the same things pretty cat. You look good in anything. But I think we got something on here. And then 2, I have already forgotten the shade's name.
Alice.
Alice. So many. Alice like,
Not Leslie.
yeah, no, I think that I need to. I think I need to get maybe dressed up for this. I have an act. I got a thing. It's a little bit of like stand up kind of a deal. It'll be good. What would be here? You can help me. You can help me get ready for this. What would be appropriate, but maybe just like borderline, like a little like, oh, you're maybe not fully conforming. I think it'll work good for my act, and it's gonna try and maybe schmooze her into helping him
And it's like,
get dressed for this in a way that will not fully disguise it. Jordan wants to be noticed once he's in as the distraction for everyone else to sucker punch this man, because that's kind of how he works.
Yeah. So here's how that's gonna work. Hey Jordan, what is one thing that about you that makes you feel like you can't fit in? It doesn't necessarily have to be visual or physical. There's something that just keeps you from fitting in no matter where you go, and you're something that you're very self-conscious about.
He's always the new kid. He hasn't really ever fit in just because everyone else has a history, and he doesn't with like anybody. It's just the problem with forever moving around all the time.
Okay. So, what that ends up looking like is everybody else looks very uniform. The men are all muscular and strong jawline. The women are, hourglass shaped and well endowed and busty and shit. They're tittering. The men are flexing. The non-binary people are nowhere to be seen because what this means is conforming. And you are the only person wearing a name tag that says, "Hello, my name is," and then whatever you choose to write in it. But Alice insists you have to write something there. And she says, "Are you sure? People are going to notice."
It's like, well,
They're gonna notice.
If this is a show, I feel like that's a little bit of the point.
What name do you write?
If I may, also with the costume, are you familiar with like various forms of clowning? I don't think that Jordan is, but I think visually, he kind of looks like still sort of this masculine-ish idea, a hobo clown. Like his clothes are a little ratty, but in a performative way, and it says, "Hello, my name is Bobo the Fool."
Okay. Wow, that music kicked in at exactly the right time.
And I think maybe just as part of like the costume, is he's bent his whip sword into the shape of like a cane. That itself, it's normally very metallic and shiny, and just any dirt I can find to sort of scuff this thing up to look not new is sort of what he's doing here. He might even take an actual cane and like take the little stopper at the end and stick it on this.
Okay.
To complete this sort of clown look.
You look like you fit in, but in a clownish way.
Mm-hmm.
So, that's how you two prepare. Scott and Neela, I assume you're each going to the last place that you saw to get tickets, right? Light bulbs.
I guess so. Are we gonna find the fucking corpse of the editor when we do?
Well, you head over in that direction to that big room with all of the hanging lights. And, God, this place is beautiful. Like, you just can't get over how enticing all of those hanging lights are. The corpse of the editor, the enforcer, nowhere to be seen. And there are ladders out and about, reaching up towards these light bulbs. And you could choose to climb them and pluck one, hanging down from the ceiling. So,
I'm nervous because of the sound cue you picked. Like, nervous, but in a good way nervous.
Yeah.
Like, this is a very interesting sound cue that you have picked for this. Yeah, Neela will climb a ladder. Nothing seems off to her.
So the last time I talked about these light bulbs, as you look into the closest light bulb to grab it, you see something. I want you to describe for me, Leona,
Mhm.
a wonderful idea, an artistic idea that Neela has had, but hasn't gotten a chance to execute yet.
Ooh. She wants to create uh, a self-portrait, and she wants to do it with pastels, and she wants it to be very South Asian, like with her hair in a braid and like with little marigold flowers. But she's not ready yet. Um, she's just not ready to kind of like really look herself in the eye like that and kind of like embrace herself fully. And I think
Yeah.
that's why like her appearance in the castle is much more like magical girl. Like it's not necessarily Neela in her everyday form, and it's not necessarily like like she's just kind of, but it's so it feels. I feel like in her mind's eye, the painting is almost nebulous. Like like the outfit on the painting keeps shifting as she's like
No,
trying to decide. No,
whatever you see, it is the perfect version. Like,
oh
you're looking at
shit,
this, and like, if you could take this light bulb into the real world and use it to sketch from, you would have no conniptions about the final product. It would be perfect. This is the ideal
oh
form
god.
of that idea. And you can grab
I
it
think she
and
yeah,
unscrew it.
she'll grab it, and she kind of like, I think she like before she unscrews it, she kind of like pauses for a moment, just like wonderment, because she's just like there's almost that temptation of like I should grab this and run. Like I've been trying to figure this out for so long, and this answer is right here. And then I think she's like, no, wait, gotta focus, and unscrews it and climbs back down.
It doesn't lose its light. It's in your hand. You can look at it as much as you want. Uh, Scott, do you also go up and get a light bulb?
I do not. Instead, I send one of my birds to cut a light bulb down from the ceiling and have it fall into my hand.
Okay. What is an idea that similarly Scott has been ruminating on, but hasn't been able to, for whatever reason, make come to fruition in the way that he wants?
So Scott, when he performs, mainly sings covers of other songs, and so he's been trying to come up with an idea for writing his own music, and he's not quite clear on the lyrics yet, but he's starting to sort of have a melody and a tune take shape for the instrumentation portion of it. Um, um,
So,
so
yeah, go ahead.
no, you can go.
As you look at this light bulb, you not only hear the sketches of that tune that you were working on come to full life, like it is fully every instrument that you were thinking about adding, and a couple that you hadn't even thought of yet, they're in there. And it's in, you can see you and a couple of other people. Their faces aren't necessarily resolved, but like some of your buddies are there from bands that you played in performing with you. And it sounds good. It sounds phenomenal, even. Like if you could hold on to this idea and take it out of here with you, you'd have a certifiable hit on your hands. Do you say anything to each other before you leave this place to enter the red carpet?
I feel like Neela definitely can't stop staring at the bulb. And I think she says to Scott. I think she's like, this feels weird, like a trick of some kind. Do you know what I mean? Like, here's something so beautiful that I have to take to the big top as a ticket. Something doesn't feel right, you know?
Give up your ideas to get inside.
That's what I'm afraid of. And it's so beautiful.
Yeah.
I don't think we have a choice. We have to do this. They're counting on us.
Bigger things are at stake. I hate to say.
Yeah.
It's gonna take me a long time to recreate this, though.
Yeah. Trust me. I hear you. And Neela kind of like shakes herself off. Okay. I'm ready. You ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. Go.
There's a line to get into the red carpet. And as you all walk and slowly filter in, you see the area before you. Anybody who is dressed properly is... there's a little velvet rope that gets lifted. They go in. There are camera flashes everywhere as people pose and make their way into the big top. Sushi and Jordan, you pair off to the left, following those people. Kind of give a wave as your friends head off to the right. You arrive at that front area, and the person holding the rope kind of looks you up and down. Bobo? You must be new.
The fool. He says the fool, and like uses the cane to tip the clown hat. Yeah, it's first time running my act. I'm hoping it works out.
Well, it's a tough crowd in there. Are you sure you're ready for it?
No one's ever ready. One only is.
Okay, best of luck. Lifts the gate, closes it for Sushi. You're something else.
But part of the act.
Sushi is like as soon as
Drop comedy.
as Jordan says that, like Sushi like goes up to Joe and trips him like an asshole cat.
You could have just said cat.
Do you mean Jordan?
Yeah, sorry, Jordan, not Joe. To like literally just goes up to Jordan and trips him like an asshole cat.
Ah!
I will
Good.
pratfall. I will
You could have just
pratfall
said
dramatically.
cat.
Whoa, hey, my cat is the sweetest creature on this planet, Dan.
That sounds like propaganda to me.
It sure is.
And you're not immune, believe it. Anyways.
Meanwhile, Sushi definitely looks like super smug and is just like got like the most like asshole face on just like
Sushi
I
has
did
a much
this. I'm not
nicer
sorry.
little bowler cap, and very smug in it compared to the ratty one.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Okay. And then the other two of you, Neela and Scott, make it to the front of the line. And the bouncer at the gate says, "Ticket, please." Which of you goes through first?
I will.
Okay. What would hurt more,
Oh, shit.
Scott? Never being able to capitalize on that idea, or seeing a successful, like a wildly successful version of it that was full of compromises?
I'd say never being able to capitalize on it.
Okay, I'm really sorry about this, as a fellow player. You hand over that bulb, and you're let through, and you see for a second the the person as the bouncer turns the light bulb upside down and turns the bottom of the light bulb like a bottle, opens it, drinks deep, and you cannot, for the life of you, remember anything about that composition. You can't remember the beats per minute. You can't remember the tune, really. Maybe if you have some notes back at home, you could recreate it, but what was so vivid in your head a moment ago is eaten by the machine. You had to give it up in order to get here. Do you say anything to Neela before she hands over her bulb?
How badly do you want that idea?
And she kind of pauses, looks at. I think I'm okay, even if I lose this. I mean, I wasn't fully decided on it anyways until this was in my hands. If I don't know what I've lost, I think that's okay.
Won't you
Okay.
know, though?
But no one else will. And she kind of winks.
If you're sure, then.
Neela, what would hurt more? Losing it completely? Or seeing it vividly come to life? Unforgettable, but completely compromised.
Oh, God. Unforgettable, but completely compromised.
Okay. This time what happens is the bouncer takes it and loads it into what looks like a really strange, you know what slide projectors used to look like? A little rotisserie bit.
Oh, with like the little wheel with the.
Yeah.
With the slides in them.
They screw it in, and you see other people's ideas are being projected. They rotate through each bulb like a revolver. It comes to yours, and you see it projected. And it bears a resemblance to you, but it's commercialized. It is not so much art as ad copy. It's a portrait of you broken into the shape that other people want to see.
It's not
And
actually.
you hardly recognize yourself in it.
Yeah.
And you probably won't be able to get the original image back into your head in quite the same way. It'll always be poisoned by the image that you see projected to a clapping, smiling, gleeful audience.
Neela's hand that is holding her glaive, her knuckles are white. Her knuckles are white, and there's just the slightest hint of a shake, but she is like trying to stay strong.
You see your friends across the way. Again, there's these flashes of light everywhere. Everyone is drunk, having a good time. They're under the spotlight. And in the corner of your eye, you can see people getting stepped over physically trampled in some cases to get into that spotlight. As you all look back towards the big top. You know that your good friend Quentin is in there. So now, I think it's time for somebody to roll Emperor's New Clothes.
Woo-wee.
Who wants the honors? I don't trust my luck. Sorry. It's either really good or
Whew,
really bad.
I mean, in the spirit
These
of my
aren't being
character, I will
rolled with
always
any kind of
volunteer.
stat, are they?
No, this is not
Wait,
a roll
what?
with any kind of stat. So the way this is going to work is you're going to roll the number of dice equal to the number of tasks on Emperor's New Clothes that you completed. And then you'll take the highest two.
Oh, that's okay then.
Yeah, you all have like a nutty probability of doing very
Yeah.
well on this.
I mean, I'm happy to roll just in the spirit of Jordan tends to rush in and is also the one drawing all the attention right now. But that's up to y'all.
I'm also happy to roll, but I don't want to be the only person.
Mm.
If no one else wants to, you go for it. Take it.
Yeah, right. I do think that's
Go nuts.
narratively appropriate for the plan I was having to start this off.
Yeah. Okay,
nuts.
so let's set that scene a little bit before you make that roll.
Yeah.
You enter the big top. You're underneath the big lights. Your friends are kind of flanking. There's a huge audience in front of you. And the lights are on you, ready to give you your 15 minutes to do whatever you want. This could make or break you, theoretically. If, the castle mattered. If any of this mattered in the way that it so fervently believes that it does.
And Jordan's saying that to himself kind of out loud, like, it's all some sort of weird psychic illusion thing that it's not actually performing. I can totally do this. Whew. All right, so, and to the rest of the group. So, I need y'all to be paying very close attention to everything that's not me, because I'm about to go up there and roast the shit out of Quentin.
Okay. You see that there are like posters to Quentin and like excitement at the performers that Quentin has brought in under his tutelage. Make that roll.
Sushi's gonna like lick a paw and just
Ooh,
like
boy,
nails
we
flexing
get-
and go like, so can I claw down some of these eyesores?
What?
Three
Did that
ones?
roll? Oh wait.
Wow, that's wild.
That was 3 ones.
Three
know what?
ones.
We step on
I take it back.
rakes.
I take it back. I should have rolled.
Well, we
Well,
did.
no, actually,
We got a
Against
hit. We
dude.
didn't get a weak hit though. It's not a 6 minus.
Yeah, no. Here's the thing. It just means that you don't get a huge boon at the end of this. You don't get to pick the thing. What do you say? What do you say during the set that ultimately breaks that connection to the big top and to the circus that makes Quentin vulnerable?
Yeah. Jordan Pratt falls with Sushi's help onto the center stage. It's sort of this dramatic roll tumble, and he's all hunched over there like he's tired and like, hey, everybody. It is I, Boo Boo the Fool, pointing at his own name tag, here for your entertainment and enjoyment, because, I'm new here, but I already like all you guys, and I want you all to succeed and have a good time and be happy, unlike the ringmaster. Unlike the man in charge here, I actually do think that you're all great and wonderful and appreciate my fellow performers. I'm not really all that selfish. Maybe that's foolish and dumb of me. But I don't tend to backstab all the people around me and try and make them look foolish to make myself look bigger. I don't tend to try and find the weakest moments of people. Instead, I laugh at myself. I think it's the bigger and more mature and funnier thing to do. I think it's better content also, rather than just preying on the weak, defenseless, unaware masses around me like I'm some sort of weird, emotional, social vampire that doesn't get out of his editing room, and on and on.
Yeah. And
I have a life outside of this. In fact, I really don't care what any of you think. I've seen what makes you cheer. Your boos mean nothing.
God.
Woo!
Woohoo!
Woo!
Jordan just
Okay.
letting out every bit of sass he's got in himself. What I'd like to do before we
Damn.
decide this, though, is I'm going to mark Void to use Made You Look, because I assume they're all paying attention to me.
They sure are.
And that just means I would like the enemy to reveal a hidden weakness to my friends, which they get a fleeting advantage on to act on.
Hell yeah.
Yes. The spotlights. Every time you're in the spotlight, you feel this sense that, like, you have a lot of power, but it's being given to you. It's being lent to you by Quentin. He is channeling some part of him through those spotlights.
Then I think maybe the last thing that I say, that also to try and give my friends a hint to give them that fleeting advantage, is like, and none of this is real. None of you are actually real. None of this is real. The spotlight isn't even real. It's just the thing that Quentin is paying attention to and giving power. That's right. His real name is Quentin. That sounds real fun and cool, doesn't it? Like an old man at a retirement home, etc.
Oh my
there's a
god, the
standoff there.
roasting.
Woo!
Roasting!
So you know that one of Quentin's weaknesses is these spotlights. He's somehow channeling his power through them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Quentin comes forward, and he is shaking with rage. I don't know how you got here. And clearly, at this point, he recognizes you, at the very least, Jordan. I don't know
I kind
how
of-
you got here, but you need to leave. You are not going to be one of us. You're not going to be famous. You're not going to be cool. You're not going to be liked. You are not going to have this freedom.
Yeah, like anyone other than you here is cool or liked. Like you're trying to make anyone else cool or liked but you. Just to
Wait,
keep it
he's
simple.
liked?
He wants to be, and this whole illusion is that.
Like,
Leona, I see your hand.
Hi. How can I call upon Leslie, aka Alice, to use her castle move?
Oh, what's her castle move?
She is the chariot. Against an unbeatable foe, you become an unstoppable force. When you charge an enemy, roll plus swords. On a hit, you crash into them and push them far away from where they were. If you had an opening, exhausted to pick one of the following options.
Do you
just
want to
figured
save
we
this
should
for
talk
when
about-
you have an opening, or do you want to do this right off the bat?
I would save it. I might be able to get you an opening if he starts
Alright,
tearing
I'll
this up into
hold,
me.
I'll hold.
At least that one, you can still do something. Just that.
Also,
No,
you,
no,
you,
it's all
you
good.
use it by saying, I would like to use this. And I think afterwards, well, we'll figure out what exactly happens, but you can use it, I think, once per delve.
Cool.
Jordan, as you continue to insult him, I think it's time to strike using arguments and emotional appeals. Please roll strike plus cups.
Oh, goody. I have -1 to that, and I technically have disadvantage on strike right now.
Well, surely you can't roll worse than 3 1s, a 4, and a 3.
hey, you managed to get a weak hit somehow.
That's because I rolled 3 5s,
Immediately
-1.
after 3 ones.
You rolled 3
Fives.
5s?
The
God.
dice give it And the dice taketh away, motherfucker.
All
Wait, isn't
right.
this like the second time someone's rolled?
Unbelievable.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's
Y'all rolled 3
delightful and
5s
outrageous.
last time, also, I think.
No, we only
Uh,
rolled 3 5s when she did
That's what.
Travel the Labyrinth.
Right.
Also,
Mhm.
thank you, Retza, for the pool
Oh.
+2.
Yeah. Can we have that
we
on?
get advantage.
Yeah, not for this roll, but you can hold on to it for next time. I'm sorry, I should have had you roll line it up. 'Cause you're
Yeah,
finding an
I can.
opening.
I mean, if it's
But-
plus coins instead of wands, which we can maybe just use the same roll, since it's 3 5s, it doesn't really matter one way or the other. That would instead be a strong hit, because instead of a -1, it's a +1.
Yeah.
We want to leave the dice where they lay.
Yeah, let's leave the dice where they lay. Okay. So you find an opening. What is the opening? Tell me about it. As you insult him.
Yeah.
Figuring
I
out
think,
where his weak spot is with every word.
I think that Quentin has gotten in his face, and Jordan has just advanced on him, like even doing like comical old man like cane walk forward, and is right in his nose. And I think Quentin reiterates like, "Leave, get out of here," and he just make me and do it. And it's the opening is entirely that Quentin cannot, at least the way I'm reading it, cannot stand someone challenging his spotlight, shining more than him. And I've pulled that attention away from him by making him look ridiculous. If that reads.
No, that does. So pick one. The foe sends an attack your way. The opening only lasts a few moments. The foe sees you, get fleeting disadvantage on strike.
Oh. I think he sees, like, not just sees me physically, obviously, but, like, really sees Jordan. Like, in that moment, he sees Jordan is bullshitting just as much as anyone else. That it is, in fact, bluster.
Yeah.
It is
So-
him simply doing a bit.
You see people from the audience stand up and start climbing over the sides of the railings on the outside. One of his traits that I will reveal to you right now is follower count. And they are all eyes on you, buddy. Leona,
All right.
your chariot awaits.
Yeah. I feel like Neela decides to say Alice's real name and goes, "Leslie, help!" And is like out and ready with her glaive. And I'm hoping that by kind of calling upon Leslie rather than Alice, she kind of like awakens the chariot in her. And then do I need to go with her, or am I just basically encouraging her to do the thing?
Read the description again.
Against an
I think you
unbeatable
do the
foe, you become it's her castle move. It's the thing for the chariot. Against an unbeatable foe, you become an unstoppable force. When you charge an enemy, roll plus swords. On a hit, you crash into them and push them far away where they were. If you had an opening, exhausted to pick one. Smash them into something and remove equality, hurl them far away, giving your group breathing room.
Cool. Yeah, so I imagine the Alice dissolves into Leslie. And
Yeah!
Leslie is looks like a gladiator, like a Roman gladiator.
Yes!
And it's the same sort of magical girl motif, because this is you kind of channeling your connection and your power. So it's the skirt that you would see on a Roman warrior is styled like a magical girl skirt. And the glaive, or the gladiole that she has, gladiole? Whatever the sword's called. Has that same sort of patterning. It's got a big fucking gem set in it. Maybe there's a moon. I don't know what your exact vibe is.
Love it. I love it.
And she rides a chariot that just kind of like emerges from the ground underneath her and smashes into Quentin. So, what are you picking? Removing a roll plus swords. Sorry, you need to roll.
Let me roll plus swords. Can I use that +2? Because my swords is a -1. Is that cool with everybody?
Fine with me.
All right. That was definitely a speak now forever hold a peace tip moment. Where did my thingamajig go? This is a. Is it a regular roll? Yeah. +2. +2. +2.
+2 is a
That's
7.
4,
That's a weak
5,
hit.
6. That's a 7.
It's a weak hit.
Woo! Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Just
So
barely.
7. You
7.
scrape it by,
We scrape it by.
and on a hit, you get to pick one of those two.
If I had an opening, I exhausted to pick one, which is smash into something and remove a quality, or roll them far away, giving your group breathing room. I will get Leslie to smash into Quentin to remove a quality.
Okay.
Because they're already being pushed away, basically.
Yeah. I think the thing is the distance between Jordan and Quentin won't change.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. Yeah, so you get to remove a quality. Do you get to pick which quality? No, you just break one of them.
I think I just break one.
I really hope it's follower
Like-
count, because that's a whole lot of people running at me right the hell now.
I mean, I feel like
Don't
Leslie
make
is
those
like,
decisions based on
you
that.
know, Leslie is charioting and just like slams directly into Quentin, charioting along.
Yeah.
That's kind of
What
it.
we'll do is actually it's even more dramatic than that. You see her slam into Quentin, and the chariot itself like drifts through the crowd, knocking them aside. But you notice that they aren't actually hurt by that. What happens instead is they start chanting. Do you have like a code name when you're in here, or do you just use your normal name?
I think the coolest thing is the playbook
Okay.
name
Yeah.
for us.
Well, provider is
Yeah.
not exactly a rallying cry.
Yeah.
True.
Gardener.
Gardener.
That's what they start shouting.
Ah.
Gardener.
It is a shovel.
Gardener.
Yeah.
Well, so do more of that. Oh, you gotta show us how that works. And they start fawning over you. And they're going to make it hard for you to do stuff.
For me.
For you.
Got it.
Ye who done broke the quality. As
That's fair. I
have,
accept.
you're getting mobbed, basically.
Totally fine.
As you wrest the attention away. Dan, Michelle, you've got this situation. There's now like officially a fight happening as Quentin kind of like dusts his shoulders off. He looks at Jordan, and Jordan, that spotlight is getting real hot all of a sudden. And it feels like it's going to start burning soon. Gang, what do you do?
Well, I might be able to help with that.
It's like, I hope that my hint wasn't too subtle. Groucho Marx impersonation.
Well, so when Jordan mentions spotlight, Scott is going to send his birds to basically try and block out the light from the spotlight.
Okay.
You
to
have
try and-
advantage at
Hmm?
my move gives you advantage at this.
Okay. So I think that sounds like pressuring, because you're kind of launching an attack of your own against those spotlights. Does that seem fair?
Sure.
So that'll be plus swords, and it sounds like there's an advantage involved, so you have advantage on this. What move was it that gave advantage on that?
The made you look, one of my shadow moves. When I'm center of attention, the specifically the thing I revealed by doing that, you have advantage on acting on it.
Sick. Okay.
A part of me
Although
wants
once
to
you
just
do,
have them.
the enemy will act against me. So
A part of me wants to just have them crowd up on the spotlight itself, and then if it catches on fire, then the spotlight also catches on fire, so that's still taken care of.
Hey!
That's some video game logic right there.
Whoa! Strong hit!
Hell yeah! Okay, on a 10 plus pick 2, you expose an opening, you pin them in place, preventing them from moving. You give an ally a window to act freely.
Alright, let's say I expose an opening because I cut off what I'm assuming is a source of this power.
Yeah,
And,
you see that there are puppet strings, actually, attached to each of these, and they are, like, woven into his outfit. You can now see from a distance, so as he moves and gestures, that's what's moving the spotlights around. He's probably not even aware that he's doing it.
very cuttable looking puppet strings, though.
And then you get one other, which is pin them in place or give an ally a window to act freely.
I'll give Jordan a window to act freely because let's say he saw me trying to do this and knew it was coming.
Cool.
Okay.
Okay, so Michelle, do you want to intercede here, or do you want to let Jordan take the spotlight for a moment and then come back to you?
I think we'll let Jordan take the spotlight. He's got an opening now. It's gonna look really cool. Let's go for it.
What do you do with that big juicy opening? All of a sudden, like, you see these wires attached to his outfit, and he's getting, like, pulled back by them as the birds start to attack these different lights, spinning them and pulling him one way or the other.
Oh, that's much more elaborate than what I had envisioned.
Oh, you're attacking the
I'm kinda
lights, they
tired.
get spun.
I was just gonna cast a really big shadow.
That works
Whatever.
too.
Now, the
They're
thing I want
trying to
do,
pivot to avoid your birds. That's what it is.
Yeah. The thing I want to do, which I feel like is probably going to be precise and insightful, is he's being pulled around by these cables. The cane whips out into a sword, and I kind of want it to hook around the cables and basically drag him in the opposite direction that the cables pull him in a moment. Like, find that one moment where it drags him backwards so that I can then get the sharp edge of this, like, hook sword now and pull back to try and sort of sever them.
Yeah, I love that. Okay, so that's strike. Rolling coins. You still have disadvantage on this, right?
Yep, but
Yep, 'cause it isn't
Retsev
injury.
dropped another +2 if you would like to use that.
So we say that just negates the disadvantage?
No, +2 doesn't negate disadvantage. It's a +2.
I already have a +1, so I'll do it with disadvantage and give myself 2 more, but... Alright.
Okay, with disadvantage, you somehow managed to get a strong hit anyways. What?
What?
What did you
4, 5, and
roll?
5, baby!
Hmm.
A 9 plus a 1 is
How
a
do I
10.
get your roll 20? That's my question. I want it.
You
Wild.
start out by rolling 3 1s out of 5 dice.
Karmic dice exist
Yeah.
in real life for
Karma.
me, don't you know?
This,
I have that
this,
setting on for the whole thing for my Baldur's Gate 3 friends.
this is absolutely nuts. These dice are wild.
Yeah,
just
I was
know.
hoping this would go more like the Enforcer fight, but if you're winning, you're winning. That's a strong hit. Tell me what it looks like as you break this next quality.
Yeah, he's being sort of danced around and sort of keeping with this clownish theme. It's this moment where Jordan basically has matched his pace in like a stumbling dance until the cane comes out as the sword. And it's just that moment of no more puppet masters, and literally throws himself backwards again in like this pratfall. And the both of them tumble backwards. Just one of them was doing it on purpose as Jordan rights himself next to Sushi.
The spotlights all around the big top are yanked. You hear the groaning of metal as they're pulled out of the places where they're fastened, and they come crashing down. Bang, bang, bang. There's glass and shrapnel everywhere. It is dangerous to move across the battlefield now, as the dark and smoking ruins of those lights litter the field. There is one more quality, Sushi. As those lights come raining down, what do you do?
All right. I think Sushi's gonna try and light it up. And I think what Sushi's gonna do is they're gonna first grow up into a like from house cat size to like small tiger size, and their ears are like shiver a little bit before they turn into actual speakers, and Sushi's going to like crawl around, sort of jumping through like these invisible like. If you're okay with the flavor, Scott, like, you know, jumping through like the like circles of your birds as as the speakers start to play, sort of like a recording of if you recall, Quentin's little siblings chats about, like, you know, the videos, and sort of like just kind of like testing, like, hey, is this still a weak point that is this still something that is really bothering you?
Yeah, that sounds like you're trying to line it up, playing those things through the speakers to locate a weak spot. Go ahead and roll plus coins.
All right, we're just gonna roll regular and weak hit.
Yeah, weak hit does it. So pick two. The foe sends an attack your way. The opening only lasts a few moments, or the foe sees you, granting disadvantage fleeting on strike. Fleeting disadvantage, not disadvantage fleeting.
I think definitely Quentin sees big giant tiger like making a spectacle, and also so it's gonna like send an attack, and then also definitely sees Sushi just making an absolute ass of himself or of themselves right now.
Okay, so what this looks like is, in this moment, you thought, Jordan, that you had pinned Quentin down, but you see kind of a shuffle, like a VHS scan line where he was, and all of a sudden he's across the arena and starting to like basically warp between places as he throws attacks at Sushi. So Sushi, he comes in and he starts like throwing these glitched punches at you. What do you do?
What can I do? Dodge, right?
You can dodge, or somebody can jump in to help you, generally.
I'd roll pressure, but I feel like if you want to dodge instead, I won't stop you.
I think Sushi's gonna try dodging. Good. I mean, Sushi's also a very, like, I think Sushi's gonna try, like, going from, like, big cat to small cat to sort of, like, suddenly decrease body mass, and see if that does anything to,
You
throw
can mess
off
with
the
space,
punch.
I can mess with space.
Bullet cat.
Yeah, I love that.
Alright.
Okay. Yeah, you're rolling plus ones. How'd that go?
We got a weak hit.
And
Like-
a weak hit. Okay, on a hit, you successfully dodge. On a 7 to 9, pick 2. On a 10 plus, pick 1. You're separated from your allies. You stumble, gaining fleeting disadvantage. You leave something valuable behind.
Ooh. Alright. Okay, so definitely Sushi is most definitely separated. Like, they've been, like, making huge leaps across the stage, and I think that last hit that they dodged, like, when they rapidly shrunk, they might have avoided the hit, but, like, they're so small that they just went way off course. They're like completely across the big top now. And the other thing, let's see.
You stumble or you leave something valuable behind.
It's like, does Sushi have anything valuable on them? Oh, this would be sad. Okay, so Sushi, so as they dodge, their collar, the one with the little dial that has that's made with the
The one that helps you navigate?
Yeah, the one that helps Sushi navigate through things, and it's definitely from Neela, is sort of ripped off a little bit, and the whole collar just falls
Yeah,
right
it
off.
just catches on one of those pieces of debris on the field.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you do manage to scamper away from these glitched out punches and kicks. Scott, Neela, who have you seen your friend in trouble? And what do you do?
I mean, last you told me I was being swarmed, and I think I need to shake them off. So I feel like Scott might be able to fix it faster than me.
If that's how you want to play it.
That's my train of thought. What would it take for me to shake off the swarm of people? You said I was gonna have trouble, right?
Yeah, it's gonna make things difficult. You can either deal with it directly, like what they're asking you to do is just show off. You can show off, right?
Oh, I can show off. Yeah, I can
Okay.
definitely show off. Does Scott want to go, Dan, or do you want me to go? Just double checking.
You can show off for the crowd.
Okay. All right. Just double checking. All right. I will show off so that they will back off and give me some space.
Unless you want me to airlift you out of there.
Okay, if you want to
That's
show
also
off
cool.
to them, they want to see a shadow move.
Oh shit. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I can do that. I think
You have one.
I do have one. Endlessly resourceful. When you reach into your bags and pockets, mark void to pull out something impossible, something too big, too dangerous on the other side of the world, or seemingly in your opponent's hands.
Pull out the collar.
I do like that.
I don't think that qualifies as too big, too dangerous.
Yeah.
It's somewhere else, but like, it's not flashy enough. Bigger is better here.
Yeah.
Especially if you want to shake the crowd. You could get the collar with this move, but I don't think it would appease the crowd, to be clear.
I pull out a tiger. A
You pull
rideable
out-
tiger. A
Is it
rideable
named
tiger.
A
Sushi?
tiger mount.
I pull out a tiger mount. It's not
Okay.
named Sushi, but I do pull out a tiger mount. I make a
Okay.
tiger mount appear. It is too big. It is too dangerous. It is kind of nuts.
Yeah, it's
so I
wearing
will
armor.
It's wearing armor, so I will mark void, but I
All
pull
right,
it out
He-Man.
so that I can amaze the crowd, but also move to go to Sushi.
Okay.
Sushi
That wasn't what y'all were expecting.
I mean, if you compared an actual tiger to what sushi looks like when they just glow up to the size of a tiger, you can definitely tell they're not the same thing.
Yeah, you bound across the field, moving towards Sushi. It's a Siberian tiger, so it's like bear-sized.
Yeah.
It's huge. And you have no problem crossing that distance on your extremely violent tiger mount that mauls several of these shadows as you go. There is raucous cheering from the crowd. Scott, as that happens, what are you up to?
Oh, that's wild.
Alright. Well, you said that Sushi, our friend, needed help, right?
Mhm.
So can I roll stand with me to assist with that? Or
I think at this point Neela is closing that distance to help Sushi out. So I would not actually say that Sushi needs assistance right this second. That said, yeah. If you want to traverse the distance between you and Sushi so you can present a united front, I'm all for that. Like, you can just be over there. Scoot your way.
I use my scoot action.
Scooching.
Yes.
But yeah, the ongoing danger is functionally. I'm saying that the endlessly resourceful from Neela became a stand with me mechanically.
Okay. In that case, Sushi, did they succeed in finding an opening on Quentin?
Yeah, there's an opening on Quentin right now, as he hunts to try and find where the little cat went.
The most annoying little bugger.
He's
everywhere.
also trying to he's trying to block out the voices of his family. Like, he doesn't want to listen to that sound.
He's everywhere, Scott. So am I.
Playing Marco Polo with the speaker noises coming out of Sushi's ears.
I love it.
Oh, sorry. I should have. Dang it. I fucked up strike. It's fine.
In that case, can I try to strike using arguments and emotional appeals?
Yeah. What does that look like?
So Scott is going to be using his birds to sort of disguise his true location. But
So he's warping around and you're kind of bird warping around?
something like that. Trying to stay hidden, but unseen, but not necessarily unheard, and just say, sounds to me like you already were popular and liked.
No, nobody cared about me. I only started mattering after I started posting those videos. You don't understand.
You're really gonna listen to this and tell me no one cared about you?
And you see the hitch in his eyes. It didn't matter whether they cared. I was still stuck. Nobody who had any power to help me gave a shit. And now I have people's attention. People who can help. People who can get me.
As long as you keep entertaining them. What happens when you run out of light bulbs?
They don't care about your good ideas. They just want more content. And that's easy.
Is it though?
Fools are a dime a dozen. And he like leaps at a spot where he thinks you are, and he punches some of your birds into glitchy messes.
And that's what you want? Making this same crap the rest of your life? Are you really going to be satisfied with that? That being your whole everything you do?
Roll plus cups.
Just let me scroll down. The 20 plus what? 2-5.
Too much scrolling. Ah!
Damn it.
So
What was
I have
the
a
roll?
question.
6.
It is a miss. I have a question. My gear Lucky Charm says expend to re-roll a missed roll. It doesn't say my missed roll. Is that a thing I can do? No.
If you brought the Lucky Charm with you, yes.
Yes, I specified that I didn't bring the jacket. I brought the Lucky Charm.
Yeah.
All right.
Go ahead and re-roll that.
I think maybe Quentin gets close, and Jordan leaps up and just hucks this thing into this cloud of birds, hoping Scott kind of guides it in front of Quentin. And the charm's made out of this liquid metal as well, and it changes into like a locket of his two siblings.
Yeah, there's like a moment when you think that yeah, that's a 7. So there's this moment when Quentin, you say that, and Quentin turns his head and he tries to bum rush you basically. And then you hear a whistle from Jordan, it flies through the air, and you catch the Lucky Charm, and it's the faces of his siblings and his family. and you break his final quality.
You won't be stuck, but you'll be alone. Is that what you want? To be alone?
No. And he's been wearing this like ringmaster's outfit, right? It's got the top hat. It's got the like baton with him. They all start to melt. The castle itself starts to rumble as its foundations crumble underneath all of you. You see shades being kind of twisted into nothingness as this place begins to evaporate. No, I don't want to be alone. I feel stuck at school. I feel stuck at home. I'm just not allowed to be anybody who I want to be. I thought this was a way out.
Who do you want to be?
I want to make movies. I want to make stupid little movies that make my brother and sister laugh. Maybe something bigger. I don't know. I want to be a fucking filmmaker, man.
Well, hey. Every filmmaker has to get started somewhere. And sometimes that's making silly little movies for their brother and sister. Is that really so bad?
Maybe not. So, as the castle crumbles and the dangers start to fade, all of you can approach Quentin more or less freely. And you see, kind of floating out of him, is this long, jagged piece of what looks like glass. It looks like stained glass. It's not blood, it's maybe crystal. I don't know. It's like a very Final Fantasy thing to have happen. And you can tell that is the shard of the castle. It's not very big, but it's where he was drawing his power from. And now, you have control of it. You see in its layers and refractions all of the things that you could do with the power that removing the shard gives you. So, to make a long story short, we're doing the move Rivers in the Desert now.
Yeah.
You have the power that they've gathered, and it's yours to control. Each of you is going to get to pick one. Reformation. The vassal grows a newfound conscience. They'll publicly confess to their crimes, though the castle will avenge them, with or without the consent of the vassal. If you pick that, you get to mark world, and you gain advantage on the retaliation check as the castle's forces focus on the turncoat in their ranks. You can pick liberation. You push the castle away from your city, bringing a glimpse of equity, health, and happiness to its residents. If you pick this, you mark world and pick one and you pick the tier 1 option because he's a tier 1 vassal, which blesses a new or existing location that's dear to you. Its fortunes will improve, and your hideout grows an entrance in that location. Expropriation. You can extract material benefits from the castle systems. You would mark void and gain the tier 1 benefits, which removes a crisis affecting you or another rebel. It's no longer an issue. Redefinition. You feed parts of yourself to the Hungry Dark, gaining something new in their place. You would mark Void and gain new perspective. You could change your playbook to one of your choice and describe how your outlook shifts. Or you can pick Occupation. You take the vassal's place in the castle's hierarchy, mark Void, and gain a black mark in fealty, and you have a sense of who is superior to you in the castle's hierarchy. And at the start of each investigation, I will give you a vision of what the castle at large is working on in the city. So.
And in character, how aware are we of, say, the consequences of these things?
If you take Occupation, I am going to tell you, you are literally taking a part of that shard, and you are embedding it in yourself. Kind of have a feeling that that's kind of a fucked up thing to do, right? Whatever the castle is, it is not your friend.
Well, I mean, for all of them, like, if we pick Reformation, are we aware that it's going to retaliate, or...
Yeah, what you're seeing
I'm trying to say, how much do we know the goal versus the consequence?
You get the impression, like, everything that I just read to you, your character knows that that's the outcome, more or less. You see it replayed as the piece of the castle shard spins in, like, images and emotions. And it's not specific, but you know what you could do with that power. Each of you gets to pick one of these options.
Yeah.
Each of us.
Now, I think if no one else does, I do think expropriation to help our good friend Chauvin, probably. But I don't know that that's necessarily the most in character for Jordan, so I won't take that if someone else wanted to do that one.
I mean, I argue it does feel kind of in character for you, honestly, Loki.
Well then,
I am thinking of liberation. That feels very Mila. Just for transparency's sake.
Because there's also part of me that actually does want to pick Occupation for very specific reasons I'd play out, but that's... I want to hear what everyone else...
You valid.
I mean, I could play that out now if we're just going for Heart of Our Hearts.
Yeah, do Heart of Your Hearts. Like, it's okay. You're teenagers. It's okay to be kind of selfish.
Well, it's not really. So,
yeah, no. But like, what I'm saying is, like, no matter what decision you make, we, the adult players, can respect the teenager's decision.
Yeah. I mean, heck, I'll just roll into that right now. Jordan's looking at this place that's like a representation of what Quentin's been doing. And I think he looks at it and like he's creating like buzz, notice, attention. And Jordan's like, it could be done right without victimizing people. You could highlight the best part of people instead of the worst part. And you could be part of, like, look, and this is almost like talking past Quentin, who is there less than 2. I'm just like, look, I was mad at you because you weren't thinking about others, but I get the impulse, I get the desire, and hell, someone doing this could help you do the thing you really want to do. And just like muttered a little bit to himself. It's like, and then maybe I could belong somewhere.
It doesn't just give. It takes a lot.
Yeah, well, I haven't had any place to give to before. Maybe it's about time I let somebody take from me.
And you close your fist around a portion of this crystal, you
Mhm.
pull it away, and you press it into yourself. And you feel a rush of power, Mark Void.
Hmm.
You almost feels like you can see threads around you. You imagine the city and you see connections where you never saw any before. There's power in giving part of yourself to the castle. And the question now is whether you can do that and stay true to your principles. Who's next?
Neela looks not impressed with that decision. I do feel very confident in picking liberation, so I'm happy to go next to give the other two some time to think.
Okay. So, what does that look like as you reach out to the crystal and use it?
I feel like it's almost like she is. Is she either communing with the crystal or is she taking a part of the crystal and like crumbling it in her hands?
It could be either.
Hmm.
Either way, the substance of the castle and this shard of it won't fully go away. There's a
Yeah.
cycle.
And a train.
Yeah, them old circus trains, don't you know? It's packing everything up and driving off.
You were saying there's a cycle.
There's a cycle, and it won't be gone, necessarily. But at least for now, that power will be channeled to the other side of the coin.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna kind of compromise on my idea, and I'm gonna do a little bit where she takes the shard, she breaks the piece off, and as she crumbles it into a fine dust, she's like working some kind of magic, and the dust just kind of glowing. And she pulls out a little sachet from her sachet. I don't know what the word is. From her pocket, and she kind of puts the dust in there. And what I'm essentially doing is, because the tier 1 benefit is to bless a new or existing location that is dear to you, she will then later on sprinkle that powder on that location, whatever we decide it to be, and that will be how she kind of blesses the location.
Whatever you decided to be.
Oh,
Your choice.
Oh, okay. I will think about that. I'm not sure.
Mark World, as you feel this power run through your fingers, the ability to make somewhere better for people materially.
Hell yeah.
But remember, making one space safer means that hardships spring up in those places you can't protect.
Mm-hmm.
How long can you keep acting selflessly before you have to cover the whole world?
Yeah.
Who's next?
I guess my question will be, Scott, are you planning on doing Reformation?
I was thinking about it since Neela picked Liberation, because I still need to make sure Quentin doesn't publish his videos, because that's going to get
Then I think
people
Sushi's gonna
important
go with
to me in trouble.
expropriation, if you're okay with that.
Yeah. So, you are going to remove a crisis affecting you or another rebel, and it is no longer an issue.
Now the question is, does anybody still have a crisis?
Mine's fine.
No.
I think Neela and I addressed each other's.
Yeah, I'm good.
But Jovan is kind of in the middle of one.
Alright, then we're removing
why we
a
haven't seen him.
crisis from Jovan. It's no
Okay.
longer an issue, because I think everybody else has
What
an
does
idea.
what does that look like?
I think for Sushi...
You're using the castle systems to benefit you.
Ooh,
Let's be clear. That's why you're marking void here. So you're
yeah.
taking the power of the crystal and you're manipulating it and letting it go.
All right. I think what it looks like physically is Sushi's actively biting a chunk off of this crystal and like chewing it. And as they're chewing it, they're sort of accessing this weird space. They don't quite get it, but their main thought process is basically, okay, Jovan is not here because for whatever reason he's stuck doing weird human paperwork stuff. Get him out. Free Jovan. That is literally the thought process. And
Get rid of that.
sort of like
in
forcing
your
that to
mind.
happen.
Yeah, in your mind, you see the people who are responsible for involving themselves in Jovan's life finding something else to deal with. Nominally, they are acting in Jovan's best interest. They are trying to intervene in a situation of a child's safety. But with your interference, they find other things to do. You can't make all the charges stick, right? So, Jovan will be free from the watchful eye of the castle's fingers in Child Protective Services. And you extract some of the power of the void. Scott, you said you wanted to do reformation. What does that look like?
Yes. Scott will take what I guess is presumably the last part of the shard.
The
Unless
last
like a
piece,
chunk.
yeah.
Yeah. And then he'll turn to Quinn and he'll say, like, you said that it takes. Help us take back. And he'll hold up the shard and he'll do like a sleight of hand and the shard and to make the shard disappear.
I love that. I don't even... There's so many people that I've hurt. I don't even know where to start.
What about
Will help.
posting a video?
I can start there. And I think with that, the last of the shard's power is gone. And this area, this part of the castle, dissolves around you as you find yourselves back outside as the first sort of street bands start to play for the Halloween festival, the fall festival in Etteridge City. There's more to come. We have a whole couple other moves we need to sort out before they've truly finished with Quentin Allegra. But I think now is as good a spot as any for us to take a quick break. We will come back to you after a short intermission. Thanks, everybody. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to The World Within You. As many of you already know, every episode of this show is streaming in support of charities that are important to us, the cast. And tonight is, of course, no exception. This episode of The World within you, we want to direct energy, attention, and resources to support Maui Mutual Aid in an effort to continue uplifting the indigenous peoples affected by the devastating wildfire in Maui earlier this year. Crises like this require more than just the initial burst of support to maintain the steam and energy towards rebuilding infrastructure and the locations like the loss of the cultural heritage museums and cultural gathering places that were lost during the Maui fire. So we encourage anybody watching who has the resources financially or otherwise to donate if you can, or find other ways to spread the word and make sure that Maui Mutual Aid is getting all the money that they need to facilitate this reconstruction process. And you can do that by following the link that will show up if you do bang TWWY 911 in chat. And that should get you to a PayPal link to go help out Maui Mutual Aid. We appreciate you, and we send all of like our well wishes and good feelings and hope to the indigenous folks in Maui who are rebuilding at this time. To bring us back into the game, we are now in a sort of a montage, if you will. We're gonna have a lot of sort of move-heavy stuff going on as we continue through the rest of this chapter. So bear with us as we do a lot of mechanics and a lot of montage, high-level stuff. It's gonna be well worth it. So the first thing that happens once you all have chosen how to wield the power of the castle and decide what you want to do with that power, as you've just done, we are going to roll a retaliation roll. Also, sorry, not to shock anybody, Leona has stepped away for the rest of the evening. She is engaging in something that we're really proud of, which is being an anchor of community support and helping people close to her manage and have good and healthy lives. And that is the best reason for us to be missing anybody at this on this show. So thanks, Leona, for taking care of your crew. And we're going to continue the rest of this chunk without her, but she will be back next time. All right, so retaliation. Hello. One of you is going to need to roll against basically the vassal's clock. It is going to be a check roll, so you're going to be trying to roll 2 dice above a target number. That number is 2 because the vassal was passive when you finished your last investigation. You also have advantage on this roll because Scott chose to have the vassal confess their crimes. So, who would like to make that check for me?
I feel like, considering Scott chose to have him confess his crimes, that maybe Scott should roll.
Hey.
Yeah, so you're going to make a check against 2. I don't know if we have a good way to do that through our form.
Because I didn't make a generic one. Roll another d6
right.
because you have an advantage.
Yeah, you have advantage on that.
2 what?
Oh.
Alright. Well, a 4
Okay.
beats a 6.
A 4 is a mixed success, so we'll take that. So on a weak hit, someone with power is
I was
going to
about to
notice.
say I can't roll 3 ones because there's only 2 dice, and then I remember I have.
You got close. You got close, buddy.
I know.
Someone with power is going to notice the rebels and seek an alliance. They might be an inhuman creature, another enemy of the castle, or even a vassal from a competing branch of the castle. Whatever they are, they have their own power and their own agenda. I'll play that out right now. I have ideas for what I want that to be, but those consequences are going to be on the horizon. Thumbs up. Next, we're gonna talk about what you all are doing in your personal lives. So the next move is peace and quiet, and we're gonna do some sowing and reaping. As this drama passes, all of your major covenants fade. So if they were bright before, they're going to go down to, what is it?
Faded?
Faded. And if they are faded, you're going to lose those covenants because you weren't putting in the time to make sure those people remained important to you. And you retained closeness.
Is that the same for crew covenants?
Is that the same for crew covenants? Yes, I believe so.
Alright.
You have to reconnect with each other after this. This is part of what's going to make the next investigation feel a little more hectic. You want to keep those covenants and not have to switch to something else. You're gonna have to hang out with your buddies.
Hey.
All right. So, I believe all of you have all of your crises quelled, right?
Yes.
Okay. So, if they're all quelled, you get to pick a boon. There are 6 of these. First, you can reach a new stage in your life. Shift between delinquent, prodigal, or traitor. Basically moving your associated black mark to describe your new role. Show someone that they matter. If they're a major covenant, they start the next investigation at intense. If they're a minor covenant, say how you meet their needs and set them to major. You can build a movement by drawing a link between any 2 contacts on the map and say how they team up to aid in your fight. You can reassess your approach to power, shifting a rank between Void and World. You can broaden your focus, adding a new location to the map and linking it to an existing character, or add a new character and link them to an existing location. Or you can bring something new to the crew, changing the arcanum of your crew covenant. It's a lot of options.
We collectively pick one?
Each of you picks one.
Okay.
Anybody who had all of their crises quelled.
Oh, yeah. The show someone they matter. If I don't have a covenant with them, does it create a minor covenant? It's just someone I know.
Anybody that you know is technically... Anybody on the map is technically a minor covenant.
Okay.
Okay.
Are you trying to add... oh, didn't mean to do that.
I might be trying to add Nico to my covenants there.
Oh. Yeah. Okay, so you want to add Nico. So what do you do to meet Nico's needs? I don't think we ever talked about exactly what Nico would have needed to become a major covenant.
Yeah. Now I wish you would have been on top of that, 'cause I'm trying to think.
Do you want a minute to think about that and we can kind of rotate through to someone else? Because we also have to figure out what fucking arcana they are, so... Michelle, Dan, which of these options are appealing to you?
Ooh. I'm debating between 2 of them.
Which 2?
I'm debating on show someone they matter to put Horace, our fun bird friend, on the map, or reassess your approach to power because I currently have 2 ranks in Void and that's a little.
I think those are both good and interesting in this moment. I guess it depends on whether or not you want to spend more time viewing what your relationship with Horace evolves into as you help with their issue. I know what their issue is, and I can tell you what they would need to become a major covenant. They are they know they are being watched because of the hole that you ripped from Palecoat's shard into their space. And now things are able to get through.
Oops. I'm sorry. You're a strong hunter. You'll be fine. Probably. All right. So
If you want to play out how you go about fixing that, then I would take reassess your approach to power. If you want to play out the struggle between light and darkness, void and world, and pick the other one.
to be fair, the reason why I take the other reason why I take the world advance is because I would love to see the hideout have gain sentience.
Wait, that's an option you have?
That's an option I have as a world advance.
Oh god. A sentient radio station. Okay.
It's an
It's really
option
radioactive.
I can do. Are you?
Okay, so is that what you're taking? Reassess your approach to power?
I don't know. This is so hard. Zoot.
Okay.
Scott, you
Think
go
about it.
first.
We're gonna slide over to Dan. We'll hear what you're thinking about.
So the problem is I had the same idea that Tate did. Because
Do it!
is a minor
Fucking
covenant.
do it!
The romancing. I think that we've actually talked about your person and what they would need.
Remind me.
She's the Tower Covenant. I know that.
Yeah, I know that she is the tower. It's not concerning at all.
I don't remember what we said she needed.
I just thought you guys had that conversation. Sorry, I should have.
No.
This was like 2 months ago.
Yeah, dude, it was
It was
the
a while
problem
ago.
with having this show once a month and then ever skipping.
Mm-hmm.
So, Kayla, give me a second. I have. There's hints in here about what to do if you're not sure. I just need to remember which number the fucking
Quick,
tower is.
Who has notes?
Temperance, the devil, the tower. There we go.
Liking this background music, by the way.
Yeah, thank you. Okay. So Kayla, her like issues that she's going through is like she's always kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place, it seems like. If it's not like her trying to scrape together money for like rent, it's like not being able to pay for her like meds, or it's kind of bouncing between like struggles to have somewhere to live and then to live well. And so I think I have some ideas for how this gets solved by your involvement, but do you have any ideas?
If it's money problems, I mean, the first thing that comes to mind is Scott like either like saves up tips I get from playing at open mic nights, or just like starts going around the city and like busking with a guitar trying to get tips, and like diverts some of that to help take the pressure off Kayla.
Yeah, she starts showing up at your shows as you do that. Whenever you're playing, like, she's in the audience and she's really appreciative every time you pass a couple of bucks her way. And it is like materially helping. She talks about how like work is going better because like her medication is solidified. Because work is going better, she's not worried about not being able to make rent next month. Like her whole... Sometimes money just makes a fucking difference in people's ability to have
it's
a
lot
normal
easier to
one.
learn how to fish when you're not starving.
Super true. Yeah. So go ahead and attach Kayla to you on the map with that lovely yellow line, and label her as the tower. We should also probably get a last name for her at some point, but we can worry about that later. Tate, Michelle, who's ready to go?
2 Arcana ideas for you for Nico.
Okay.
I don't know if someone's taken the sun, but he seemed quite passionate about things around him, or the devil.
I think actually one of you has sun.
I think I'm the
Yeah, I think
sun.
that's our covenant, actually. Tate.
Yeah, but it's gonna be like one of your personal covenants. It might be yours.
Then I think
Dan.
it's.
Yeah, you have the sun. I don't have it, but I have it through you, I guess.
Are you sure? Because my covenant with you is the sun.
Yeah, you get access to that. I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's actually your crew covenant, Dan.
Yeah.
That's your like relationship to the rest of the group. That's your kind of
To everybody.
role within the squad. But it was because of a choice that you made about how you and how Scott and Jordan related
Interact.
to each other.
Yeah. But I feel like maybe the devil in that, like, Jordan has not, again, moving around so much, hasn't really committed to any serious kind of relationship, and what that like means for him. I also think, like, Jordan's not worried about how his parents will react really, but he hasn't come out to his parents because he hasn't ever dated anyone, so it's never been like a thing to talk about.
Based on that, though,
Mm-hmm.
that sounds like they might be the sage. Like,
The sage can also. I'm here for this.
I think the sage, because it's like it's a relationship where you're exploring something that
Mhm.
Nico clearly has had a lot of practice with.
Okay.
And so the positive parts of that, of course, are like Nico is very giving with like wisdom and love and care and helping you grow and get ready to make declarations about yourself. But you notice that like the flip side of that is that like Nico clicky about that kind of thing. And like, yeah, that's how the sage is. The sage can be kind of a gatekeeper.
Okay. Then what's the thing that I do for that?
What kind of trouble would Nico be in?
If we're talking about like a clicky thing, and again, I don't have the hints in front of you, but there's a certain power in a click to having one more person on your side.
Oh, okay. So you think that there's
It's like maybe balance of power in this click that he is part of. Bringing another person in and another voice, especially a cool new guy from another place, might give him a certain amount of social credit. It makes him feel like too manipulative, but like,
I think maybe it's not even that. It's that like specifically Nico's old clique has been falling apart, and like Angel is like an older friend, but like Nico's been looking for a way to like to be tighter with that group, and like you introduce Nico to your friend group and to Neela, who of course Angel's sweet on, and now like Nico goes from being kind of like floating and socially like
Okay.
grounded and having like feeling like they have a place to belong again.
Yeah, so the thing would be
It's
kind
like
of...
what Jordan is looking for.
Yeah. So it'd be more Jordan inviting him, like, more than just one time, like, consistently to hang out with his group of friends that kind of reattaches him to some of his old friends.
Yeah. I think we labeled Nico as they them.
Oh, okay.
That is what our chart says.
All right. Yes, them.
Thumbs up.
These.
I think I fucked that up earlier. So as soon as I saw
Oh,
it,
these notes are also small, and I need to zoom in, but then I can't see the whole map. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Michelle.
I decided that we can make the sentient hideout a problem for later when that eventually happens. Into more ranks, into more XP of world. So let's say hello to Horus.
Okay. So yeah, Horace is having trouble keeping the the barriers closed. God, you already have some of the weird ones. What? Arcana. Okay, Judgment, Justice, the Tower, the Moon, the Oracle, the Lovers. Okay, that leaves us plenty of weird celestial ones to choose from.
We've already hung a star in the sky. We've got Judgment.
Okay, we got Judgment, we got Sun, we got the Moon. Oh God.
Could ask for anything more?
The Star, the Tower.
Sushi is the star, so that's the...
Do we have Temperance?
We don't have Temperance, actually.
Yeah, I think this is Temperance.
Man, we're gonna be spending so much time helping everybody else. We got so many connections.
Yeah, well, and like, if something's not working out, like, if you feel like, for example, Jazz is not a compelling character to include in this narrative, you can let that covenant, the Moon Covenant, fade, and somebody else can become the Moon. Some new person enters the story. Like, that's real life, you know? Art imitates life. Life imitates art. Wow. Is Horus on the map yet? I don't think Horus is on the map.
We've put his place in the map. We haven't put Horus on the map, but to be fair, we haven't exactly figured out how to spell Horus yet. You know what? I'm perfectly fine with keeping that a question mark.
Yeah. Just a lot of letters.
Yeah, there's
I told y'all it's Horse. Horse.
Ow!
Ouch. Painful.
Guy's name is fucking Horse. Looks like a not bird.
Looks like a number. All right. Let me quick. Oh wait, this is supposed to be in yellow, not green. All right.
Yes.
Let's draw a small thingy. Text. Wait. Draw a shape. It's a freehand line. We've got a nice yellow line going from sushi to this thing. And it's Horus? Question mark?
Don't mind me just drawing over that line so it's contiguous.
Oops.
All right. Cool. So, as we go,
There we go.
nobody still has crises imminent. So, I would like everybody to look at their sheet and erase all crises from it.
Whoa.
Yeah. Regardless of whether or not you had some or not, they well as time goes on. I want each of you to give us a glimpse of what your character's day-to-day life is like. And here are a couple of ideas for like what you can highlight in your vignette. A glimpse of life within the castle, a connection to other to rebels in other cities. Excuse me. A moment of genuine peace and joy. A sign of change here, for better or worse. A looming tragedy in this city or another, or a reunion with a long lost friend. So those are some things. What does your life look like in this time between the end of the end of your struggles against Quentin and the next phase of things?
I think there's a moment of just joy for Jordan is, him and his family. He's got a lot of siblings, are in a pretty small house, and it's normally chaotic and loud, and it's distracting and difficult to do stuff in. But they are still like siblings in a family, and it's just this moment of Jordan is like on the couch, and he's got two siblings to the right of him and two to the left, and it is only meant to be a two-person couch. There's like stacked kids, and he's sort of just fiddling with like a notebook and a few different like random art supplies because it's never really planned. And one of the siblings, it's like maybe Jazz, maybe not. It's hard to tell. And the stack of siblings like just hands him some pen or something, and he just takes it, not even looking. He's just so in the zone of just whatever random art thing he's working on at this moment. And we see that it's effectively a scene of like what happened in the castle, but just like stylized and fun and pen drawing.
Yeah.
And he's just sort of enjoying it. And like they're nobody's fighting. It's pretty chill. There's like not even TV. Like there's some music, and that's what everyone's sort of listening to and reading. And a quiet moment in what is normally just the most chaotic household.
Awesome. Who wants to go next?
I like the idea of Scott starting to play at other music venues, and through doing so, starts moving a little bit outside the city and has a chance encounter with another rebel in another city
Ooh, yeah.
through there.
What does that look like? How do you recognize each other as rebels against the castle?
I want to. A part of me wants
Sky's
to.
the limit.
Well, so a part of me wants to just like quote fucking Edward Norton's character in Knives Out and just be like, sometimes I think rebels just recognize each other,
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
But it could be something like, since my playbook is the Watcher, it could be something like I see someone else at one of these open mic nights, or just in one of these venues that bears some like telltale sign of someone who has traveled the depths, or like maybe we can sense the power of a castle shard in each other.
Yeah. I almost love the idea that like you're closer to their turf, so you see them kind of emerge from the castle, and you're like, and they're like,
nice piece.
yeah. Do they access the castle in the same way as you all, like with spray paint and stuff, or does it look different?
I don't know.
It should be, if this is someone that like you see performing also, or especially with your band, it should be like a band poster that they have made. It's not like it's not the same, but it's like sort of in the same genre of maybe putting up art places they shouldn't be.
I kind of love the idea that it is the performance. Like, the song
Mm-hmm.
is, like, transporting, and everybody else is, like, they don't see it happening, but you're there, and, like, you change into your castle garb as you
And
see them, like, warp the
Hopefully,
room
no one
around you.
freaks out. And they
Nobody else
suddenly change
notices. That's the
clothes.
beauty. That's the beauty of it. And, like, the lead singer is like, "Ah," and then you're like, "Ah." And you can kind of like feel, you can feel the shard that they go to, even though it's not yours to investigate. That's fun. Sick. Awesome. Sushi. You also need to tell us what it is that you do to repair Horus's realm. What does that look like? Additionally.
Okay. So I think what Sushi does is, so it's part of like their, like, I think we can take this vignette and sort of make this part of what Sushi does a lot, besides wandering the bounds of the city, is something a little bit new. They're exploring deeper and further into the void, and I think they strike up a conversation with Vandy Sky, asking for like, okay, so like, what the hell do I do? It's like, how do I fix this? What did I just do? How do I fix this? And I think the response they get is a very chill, enigmatic sort of like, just like, hey.
I don't know, man. It's all kind of based on vibes.
Yeah. And Sushi has absolutely...
You love to walk in between tall stalks of grass, stalk in the other direction.
Sushi has no clue what that means, but is gonna give it a go. And like, so they land in like the manifold realms and take that advice quite literally. So like in the pads of this purple-green field, they walk backwards through the stalks, and just sort of watch as in front of, like when you walk through a field of, like a dense field, you don't really see the grass parting and then closing behind you. But since Sushi's walking backwards, they can watch as the leaves, the various things sort of like part and then close behind them and weave back together. And I think Sushi actually takes inspiration from that. They take that sort of feeling of weaving things closed, and they use their yarn, their sort of like, yarn art to just sort of weave together that space so that it's sort of stitched closed.
Hell yeah. Yeah, and the stitches become like part of the fabric of the manifold realms. They are there momentarily, and then they just become any other stalks of grass, any other bits of bark on a tree. Space for the manifold realms to let its denizens move through. Cool. As
it's like, thanks, Mandy.
Go on.
I have no clue what you just said, but I did what you said and it worked.
It worked. As good and as lovely as those feelings are, though, the quiet and the peace does not last forever. So now it's time for us to talk about the next target. So, we have 4 questions to answer. Which contact is your target already hurting? Are they controlling, demeaning, punishing, compromising, or exploiting their victim? Which rebel first investigates them? And where is their power base in the city? So let's start with that first one. Which contact is your target already hurting? For the audience at home, before this started, we've talked about some of the themes that we want to explore with our next vassal. And so to kind of content warning and also give you a clear idea, we are looking at redlining and gentrification / housing as a human right, digital panopticon, casual surveillance, and the surveillance state as like big overarching themes for our next vassal.
Now, would it make sense for it to be Petra? I know she works for a like anti-pollution nonprofit, but like actively participating in protests against injustice as part of like a nonprofit could very easily lead into those things, perhaps.
I'm the only reason I'm not gonna say we should do Petra is that Milan is not here to give us the thumbs up on that as like
That's fair.
something they want to explore. Not to immediately put one of your pals in danger again, but Kayla could be a good fit for this. Angel could be a good fit for this, and we can always check in with Leona about that after the fact. Nico is also a great choice for this.
That'd be interesting to
Unfortunately,
explore.
all of Michelle's contacts are weird.
I mean,
would've guessed?
it would be interesting though if the actual, like, if void space was being affected by the castle intruding though.
Could be a corrupted animal control officer.
Wait, are you just saying that because Sushi's a cat and may or may not be getting
All of your
getting
contacts are weird.
all of my contacts. I'm sorry for having weird contacts.
I would say that I know Vander is very much a presence in like our hangout and in the sort of void space, but does Vander have maybe a city persona that we just don't know?
The answer to that is yes. I know that
You just say if then that's just the question of you saying yay or nay if that is someone who would be interesting to interact with us.
I think that would be fascinating to include in this. So
yeah. I'm also
think
down
that
with Nico
that's
just to make sure I'm not
interesting?
moving away from mine, but I think Vander's more interesting.
Vander.
Vander, sorry.
There's no R. You're good. Dan, Michelle, does that sound appealing to you?
I'm worried about what kind of being could pose a threat to our interdimensional DJ friend.
Like I said, he has Tate kind of suggested, he does have a presence in the city.
I would like to know more about our space cadet DJ friend.
Michelle?
I am okay with that. I'm also okay with any of the other names that were proposed. I think Vandy or even I'd feel bad if we put something on Kayla again. It'd be like double whammy.
It's always my friends that seem to come under pressure.
The two I would take would be Vandy or Nico, because I also want to know more about them. But that's just because they're the two that we don't know as much about yet.
Yeah, so we're gonna do Vandy. Cause y'all inspired me. Okay, so that is the connection. I'm gonna sort out the details of like their name and stuff a little bit later. But that is how they are connected to this group. So the question is, are they controlling, demeaning, punishing, compromising, or exploiting their victim?
Don't know much about them, but What's it read here?
I mean, Vandy's just the chillest person who, like, always has good advice, so I feel like it might be interesting if someone was putting stress on that.
As in, like, punishing, controlling, or compromising?
I was thinking like maybe like exploiting them. Like they cover like the 2 to 6 a.m. shift. I'm like,
Yeah, I feel
Yeah.
like either compromising or exploiting is kind of the vibe from that.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't know, Scott,
Dan.
any thoughts?
Yeah. What thoughts you got, Dan? Between
Sorry,
compromising.
I was doing mod stuff.
Oh, thank you for keeping the chat safe, healthy, and warm. So, do you think it's more interesting to see this villain? I think we've kind of narrowed it down to compromising or exploiting Vandasky.
I think compromising is more interesting
Okay.
because we know that Vanda has a double life, but
Yeah.
like if something's particularly targeting their city persona, then like
Cool.
what could threaten them from that front?
Cool. So I've got that written into our big sheet. This is a tier 2 vassal. That is my portion to add at this moment. That means that they're going to have more enforcers. That means that they're going to have more resources when they come after you. That also means that they are structurally more embedded in the castle's overall reigns and power. So, which of you investigates this vassal first?
I'm fine with it being either Sushi or Jordan, maybe?
I vote Neela.
Pick on the one who isn't here.
Yeah.
Like I feel like it would make sense for Jordan for Jordan because Jordan does get a vision of, you know, plotty plots.
What the castle is doing generally.
Yeah, but I think it would also make sense if Sushi is like, hey, this is another one of my buddies. What's going
Sky,
on?
you
here?
aren't giving me as many good head scritches. What's going on?
It's like, hey, I brought in a nice can of tuna to share with for that wonderful advice that he gave me for Horus, and he was not there.
I need y'all to make the decision. It's in your court. Come to a consensus.
I don't think it's fair to pick Neela while the player isn't here, so I think it's interesting if it's Sushi, personally.
Okay. So, Sushi, you know that that there are supernatural powers at work, because you catch a glimpse of somebody you don't know leaving the green room. And you're like certain that they are wearing like the clothes that they are wearing when they're coming to like do whatever they did with Vandasky. It's not a mask like the rest of you wear when you enter this space. It is just regular person clothes, and they smell like the city as they leave. Okay. So, finally, where is this person's power base in the city? We need a new location to add.
Well, I don't. I feel like part of this is dictated by some of the stuff we don't know about them yet.
Okay. Yeah. Let me inform you. This person is the CEO of like a Fortune 500 company that is headquartered in your city and is slowly expanding their like business campuses in the area. Not to draw too directly from my own life, but this is kind of like what's happening with Amazon in Seattle right now.
Yeah. In which case, I mean, this is definitely up to the group, so let me pitch something at you. Is it more interesting if their base of power is a part of the city they are building a campus in, or like a building in, and it's still a construction site? Or is it more interesting if it's like the actual headquarters of this company? I kind of like the construction site as the idea of like they are the CEO who is going to this location like all the time to make sure every tiny detail of the building is perfect. And so they're suddenly like there all the time. What do y'all think?
I'm wondering if it could be even bigger, right? Like instead of just the building or like the headquarters and its sub-building, it's actually like a district. I don't know, any thoughts on that one?
I'm totally for that. I think that's a really cool angle on it.
Okay, yeah. In that case, we come up with a name right now for like the business district?
Do we have on our other... Sorry, I'm gonna flip over to... Sorry, did you say street magic really quick?
Yeah.
We have 3 locations there that haven't come up. Y'all live in Parkside Boulevard, so it can't be that one. It could be on Main Street. Or we could come up with a new one. I don't think it's going to be in the barrel, unless y'all want it to be the barrel.
I think during like during the street magic we did talk about like a new district like popping up that's sort of like starting to eat into Main Street, maybe starting to like dig into the other areas.
That seems
too.
like the district he's in.
For a name, how do y'all feel about Cedar Park?
Okay.
Trees there.
Oh yeah.
It's like, no trees. There are no trees there anymore.
Okay. So their base of power is Cedar Park. Take me back. Can somebody draw a green square on the map and label it Cedar Park? While you're doing that,
Get that if you guys.
Okay.
So the entrance to their castle shard is, in fact, in the like main lobby for this company, and it is overlooking the construction site, which is a few streets down, like walking distance, and yeah, y'all are gonna have to figure out how to deal with that because it's in the lobby of a major building. But we'll talk about how you create your portal and get it to stay there long enough another time. With that, we have one last bit of housekeeping we got to do before the peace and quiet phase is over. I need each of you at the start of this investigation to check against your worst gauge.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yep.
I'm matched for lack and fealty. I think considering the choices I've made today, fealty's the more interesting one to roll against.
Do it.
I have several worst gauges.
Take your pick.
Oh, that's
Alright.
Don't worry though, at the end of the session you will be able to reduce some of those gauges.
Excellent.
oh, that's
That
good.
was a 1 and a 3 minus 1.
Let me
Wait,
roll.
do you have any modifiers?
Wow, I have heat and fealty, but
Yeah, I don't know why it gave me a -1 when I hit fealty.
No, it's the -1 to see if you're above it.
Ah,
So if you roll a 1,
Sushi and
even if you only
Jordan
have
both fail
one
on fealty.
tick, you always fail.
yeah.
So
We both
Well, I
utterly
got-
fail at fealty.
Got a 3.
Well-
This is gonna get interesting.
Well, you did better than me. I rolled a 2 and a 1.
Well, since I've been
Better
out making
technically.
connections, may as well. Hey, not bad.
Damn.
We gave him all the luck.
okay, we'll
Yeah.
start with you. So on a hit, there's trouble incoming. Write down a crisis tied to this gauge. On a weak hit, it starts the investigation imminent. On a strong hit, it's going to start quelled. So it's a strong hit.
Okay. Let's say that people are starting to recognize Scott from his music performances, and that's making it harder to continue his rebel activities and also continue any like graffiti activities that he does with the rest of the crew.
Yeah. Yeah, I dig that. Widespread reputation is maybe what we call that. You did roll a strong hit, so currently that crisis is quelled. The other two of you, you start with a dire crisis tied to the relevant gauge. At the end of this investigation, if it is still imminent, you will take a black mark in that gauge.
So is it dire and imminent, or just dire?
It's at dire. The tier list goes dire, imminent, quelled.
Gotcha.
So long as the crisis is imminent, you have lasting disadvantage on all checks in the associated gauge.
Excellent.
Great.
Okay.
Do we need to define what that looks like? Giving it a
Yeah,
name?
let's name those crises. So fealty. Fealty usually means that you are dealing with problems explicitly related to the draw of the castle's power.
Hmm. I've had a thought on how Jordan has taken over like this position, this thing that he just did that had this consequence.
Mm-hmm.
That in the real world, we've kind of built this movement of people taking footage of one particular asshole, but like, I like the idea that starts kind of snowballing, and now Jordan has found himself in kind of the same position as Quentin in reverse, where instead of him taking a bunch of photo, he keeps on getting people sending him footage of like, hey, you've started like this social media thing of like calling out assholes. You should start curating that and posting that and making a thing about it.
Yeah. You don't
And
have
the
like
castle's pulling at him about it.
yeah, you don't have individual like lackeys or anything, but like people look to you to decide what to do with that information.
Mm-hmm.
Let's call that willing attack dogs. That's the nature of that crisis.
And that's dire imminent.
That's imminent and dire. So the first time you deal with it, it'll go from dire to imminent. The second time you deal with it, it'll go from imminent to quelled.
Are they like your simps?
I think it's more they expect me to fill the void that Quentin was in.
What they expect is they expect you to tell them what to do when someone's misbehaving.
Yeah, pass judgment.
That's terrifying.
It's a
But-
position
like your
people find
Swifties.
themselves in. Yeah, it is very much parasocial. Like, these people don't really know you, but they expect you to tweet about it and tell them whether or not to be mad.
I also think it's interesting if not only do they not know him in a parasocial way, they really don't know him. Like, this is a living online kind of a thing right now, where it's like his online persona, and there's a few people who know who he really is, but it is very much an internet thing, like what was happening to Quentin.
Mm-hmm.
And he
Yeah.
calls it. I think Jordan's thing is the Harlequin. Like, it's almost an opposite and inverse to the Clown Prince, but it's also his playbook, and I really like that.
Yeah. Sushi. Dear Sushi, what is your crisis manifest as?
I think so. In taking on sort of more void, Sushi's starting to feel less connected to the city and more pulled to the void. Like, especially as they've been traveling further and further into the various reaches using the Psychopomp to just land in various strange places. And Suchi's sort of starting to lose a bit of like the connection that holds them to like physical form. They're losing connection to the world. And starting to feel a bit more and more, especially as they start devouring the entities in the void. It's starting to feel a bit more like a castle shard or castle shade than an actual being.
Can we call this crisis "Look at that cat?" Question mark.
It's like even in the world, they're starting to look a little bit like Uncanny Valley cat.
Weird. Kind of
Trying very hard.
concerning. Yeah. Cool. Cool. I think with that, that sets the stage for everything that's coming up. Yeah. So, thank you everybody for spending the time with us. We are winding down at this point. Thanks again to all of my lovely rebels for sticking with us and going through the back half of all of the setup stuff we need to do for the next leg. I'm really excited to build this out in the future. Also, if you're interested, the last time I made a castle, I invited some fine feathered friends to help me do it. If that sounds interesting to you, you should join the Discord for Neon Lights Roleplay and ping me and say, hey, that thing you said on stream, I want to do that. And I will curate some time to organize that. That said, it's time to say goodbye to our lovely, lovely radio personalities. Let's start in the reverse order with Michelle.
Ooh, hello, it's me. I'm Michelle. I don't exist on social media, so don't go looking for me there. Otherwise, I played Sushi, our cat who has, or cat question mark now, I guess, who has more problems than figuring out what being a cat and maybe more than a cat is. Yeah, you can catch me here on Neon Lights Roleplay, and that's basically it. Moving on.
Hey, I believe the next person that we go to in that case is Dan.
All right. And Michelle even pointed at me.
Incredible.
But yeah, Land Dan, I played our musically inclined Scott Reiser. And I'm in a couple other shows here on Neon Lights. I believe the next one will be in 2 weeks on Monday again for the return of Neon Afterglow, our sequel campaign to our very first Cyberpunk Red campaign that we ever did on this channel. where I am playing a doctor. So I am trying to get everyone else to not die. And then after that, I think a week or two or so after that, on Wednesday, I'll be back for By His Shadowed Piece, our Warhammer 40k flavored murder. Well, there is murder, but mystery campaign. The mystery does not necessarily involve murder, but it's Warhammer, so it's kind of almost a given at this point.
So yes, it does kind of. The murder is mysterious, though.
Yes.
Yeah, basically.
Where I am playing a normal guy, just trying to keep my very much not normal teammates from killing each other. So really, again, I'm trying to keep them from not dying, or keep them from dying.
Keep them from not dying. Yes.
I mean, look, sometimes I feel like, but yeah, you can find me on if you want to see me more. For some reason, I'm not on the Blue Sky yet, but I am still on the burning wreckage of Twitter at Lay in the Dam, where I tweet about wrestling, fighting games, and occasionally whatever I find funny in the moment.
Hell yeah.
That's what I got.
Let's send it down to Tate then.
All right. Well, hello Internet and hello Twitch. My name is Tate Washburn, and you can find me anywhere on the internet I care to be found at Tate the Terrific. Sometimes periods, sometimes underscores, depends on how picky the platform is about it. Especially on Twitter, and it's still Twitter. Fight me, Elon. That's what it's called. You can also definitely find me on our Discord, where we talk about cool stuff. But the place you should really follow on Twitter and on Blue Sky is Neon Lights Rplay on Twitter and Neon Lights Roleplay on Blue Sky, because that's where we announce all the cool stuff that we're going to do. And also, the people who run it are funnier than me, and there's several of them, so it's just a better thing to follow. You will find me next, like Dan said, running the Neon Lights Afterglow, the sequel actual play campaign for Cyberpunk Red, where these guys have gotten themselves neck deep in some conspiracy, some real big conspiracy. We're gonna see how that goes. They're making me come up with a whole Cyberpunk Seattle. It's not in the base book. This is what we're doing. Anyways, yeah, no, 100% actually is someone I'm gonna talk to. Other than that, I will be over on Singularity Roleplay 2 days after that in the Henshin game I'm trying to remember the name of because I closed my calendar. But yes, you can find me over there where I'm playing Raz, the red-jacketed, again, just like here, red-jacketed jock who doesn't know what the hell is going on. That's really the only thing he's got going on right now. He's big and he's dumb and he's strong and he's fucking lost. Anyways, that's pretty much all I'm in consistently. Sometimes you'll find me over on our Naruto game at Blades Will, where I play many people, but mostly Shoji, the ice-wielding, elegant shinobi. And yeah, that's what I'm doing, and I hope to see you guys more often here on Twitch.
And I, last but not least, am the Legendary Vermin. You can find me as Legendary Vermin on all the places on the internet that matter, which is, of course, Itch, Twitch, YouTube. I'm on Blue Sky. I am also on .com for as long as that remains a website that people go to. You can also find me on Tumblr. I make games. I am in games. If you want to check out my work, you can download my stuff at legendaryvermin.itch.io. If you want to see some of it played, there was just a podcast that played my game beach episode. I'm so sorry. It's the Monday night DMs is what that's called. I haven't gotten a chance to listen to it yet, but I'm very excited that they use my system. They also use my system, No Amount of Armor, on this channel for Stardust Ghosts. Check out Stardust Ghosts. The second half of that whole season is in a mecha game that I wrote, and I'm very excited about that and honored. Also, Michelle's in
It's
that.
real good.
Yeah. We are very gay. It is we may or may not have pissed off a lot of people with the slow burn. It's okay.
I mean, that
It's
could
all
be
good.
like the slogan for this channel.
They are very
We're
gay.
very yeah, let's roleplay. They're very gay. I have a very busy week this week. Tomorrow you can catch me over on Singularity Roleplay for the gay Breakfast Club, slowly but about to very violently turn into a homophobic slasher like Friday the 13th. Get excited. Campers are probably going to start dying. It's going to be fucked up. I'm so excited to see my character lose their shit. You can also catch me on Thursday for another game that Meg Mysteria is running here on Neon Lights Roleplay, and that will be Last Transmission, where I play a badass captain with a gun who is better at shooting than she really has any right to be, given her very weak stat line. Somehow she's still alive. See if it keeps going. Hey! Finally, late in October, on the 28th, I am going to be running Trophy Dark here on Neon Lights Roleplay for the spooktacular, what are we calling it? Neon Frights.
Neon Frights.
For Neon Frights. If you like the soundtrack to this game, and you just kind of wish it made you more upset, tune into that, because I'm having a lot of fun on Epidemic Sound. Finally, next Wednesday is probably going to be the last episode of With the Will, our Animon story campaign, where, for real this time, we're going to fight the big bad and save the digital and human worlds as hot Digimon people. Thumbs up. Anyway, that's all I got for you. One last time, since I'm not going to have any reason to use this music in the future, don't forget to fuck up that clown. Have a good night.
Yes, the up is very important.
Go fuck the clown.